Divine Sword of the Douluo Spiritual Pearl. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 426. Ao family and Luo family. Ningfeng's his plan. In the Balak Kingdom, on the main hall of the Luo family mansion, a big man with a simple face sat on the main seat. He was one of the elders of Wuhan Hall, Turtle Douluo. Standing next to him was none other than the Ao family. Long, Oz. He is the son of Orth, the father of Aldo and Albay, and the original patriarch Orth. Because his two ears were chopped off by Sword Douluo and Snake Spear Douluo, his hearing was severely damaged, and it is now difficult to continue. Assuming the position of clan leader, of course, the uninformed Ao family always thought that both ears were chopped off by people from the Qibao Glazed sect, so they deeply hated the Qibao Glazed sect. At this time, two figures were kneeling at the foot of the steps. They were Luo Hengji, the most powerful head of the Luo family in the Balak Kingdom, and Luo Fuji, the only heir. Luo Hengji, I heard that you have successfully conquered several small principalities near the kingdom of Barak, right? You have done a great job. His Majesty the Pope is very satisfied. Turtle Douluo said with a smile on his face. This smile looked kind, but it made Luo Hengji feel frightened. The person in front of him was a smiling tiger. He smiled more gently than anyone else, but when he killed people, he was more vicious than anyone else. Luo Hengji hurriedly knelt down and said, I don't dare. This is what the two subordinates should do, but I don't know. This month's antidote. Oh, antidote, I remembered it. Tonight is the day when the attack will occur. Don't worry, you are so reliable in your work. How could I forget it? I came today to deliver you the antidote. I just gave it to you. Oz, just ask him for it. I have other things to do, so I won't stay any longer. Turtle Douluo stood up and said kindly. This sentence immediately made the Luo family and his son show desperate expressions. The Ao family and the Luo family are mortal enemies. Would they give them the antidote so easily? Sure enough, as soon as Turtle Douluo left, Oz said with an apologetic look, oh, I'm sorry, brother Luo. I just put the antidote at home. So be it. You just have to endure it tonight. I'll send it out tomorrow. Someone delivers it. How could you do this, brother Ao? Let's do this. I'll send someone to get it from your house, or I can go there myself. Luo Hengji hugged his thigh and begged on his knees, get out of the way. I'm not going home today. I'm going to have fun with the Warren. Haha, you and your son, just enjoy it. Oz used all his soul power to kick Luo Hengji away, causing him to vomit blood and then collapsed. He left with a smile. In fact, the Ao family had already taken refuge in the Wuhan Palace, and the reason was precisely the small incident in the school back then. That year, just as Tianlin expected, after Orth's ears were chopped off, Bibidon quickly sent people to find the Ao family and told them that if they wanted to take revenge, they could rely on themselves or their master Xiandao. The empire is impossible. Only the spirit hall can do it. Orth couldn't deny this. In order to get revenge, he agreed to secretly work for Wuhan Palace. Anyway, he was working with the same master, whether it was Wuhan Palace or Xiandao Empire. He was not following any one point, but the Luo family is different. They were forcibly subdued by the Wuhan Palace. They rely on poison. A poison that attacks every month and hurts into the bone marrow until all the organs in the body rot. It was developed by the Archfish Douluo. The Soul Palace gave the antidote to the Ao family, and the Ao family used it to control the Luo family. The Ao family and the Luo family have been hostile for many years. Although Oz will not let Luo Hengji and his son die now, he still tortures them. It is common for them to be delayed for a day to give the antidote. Anyway, the poison attack will not be directly fatal. Instead, it will first cause people to suffer incomparable torture. Oz, who left the Luo family, was very proud at the moment. He was glad that he had stood in line early. He could already imagine the heart-rending pain of the Luo family and his son at this moment. This was exactly what he had imagined. In fact, it didn't happen at all. As soon as he left, the Luo family and his son stood up calmly. Luo Fuji supported his father, while Luo Hengji covered his chest where he was kicked and said bitterly, "This Oz is really Everlane. Sooner or later, he will be killed." He really thought that we were poisoned, but it hurt a little from being kicked. Just as he was complaining, begonia flowers fell from the sky and blended into his chest, healing the minor injury in an instant. Januxin. Begonia, haha, it's the second brother Gu, and Miss Yi are here. Luo Fuji laughed. Senior. Luo, brother Luo, you have been wronged this time. Gu ran Ledley Lingling into the hall. It's not a grievance. If it weren't for Sect Master Ning's wisdom and nephew Gu Zan's timely help in detoxifying my father and my son, we would really be under the control of the Ao family. Luo Hengji said gratefully. When Tianlin made up his mind to dominate the world, Ning Fengxi and he both wrote letters one after another. Ning Fengxi wrote to Luo Hengji, and Tianlin wrote to Luo Fuji. Tianlin knew from the original work that the first kingdom that Wu Hundian conquered was Balak, while Ning Fengxi guessed it based on his wisdom. In fact, Ning Fengxi had already contacted Luo Hengji many years ago. His original idea was very simple. Since he had turned against the Ao family, he would win over the Luo family, which was hostile to him. Later, the ambitions of Wuhan Palace were exposed, and Ning Fengxi speculated that they might use the Ao family as a guide to attack the Balak kingdom. He wrote a letter to remind the Luo family to pay attention, and suggested that Luo Hengji do two things. First, treat the people well, to win a good reputation for the Luo family, and secondly, to rectify military discipline and make them convinced of the Luo family. It happened that at that time, Tianlin controlled Luo Fuji with his eternal mind. After he came back, he inexplicably changed from a young man who did no evil to a good man who was willing to do good and pray for the people. He told his father that he was awakened by Tianlin, but Luo Hengji changed his mind. He thought that Tianlin had become friends and reached cooperation with Luo Fuji, so Luo Fuji would do what Ning Fengxi told him. This is what Ning Fengxi said before. Tianlin accidentally made his plan more perfect. After these two things are done, the first thing is to save the lives of the father and son. Wuhan Palace originally did not want to conquer the Luo family, but let the Ao family take sole power and completely control Balak. But the problem is that at this time, the Luo family has an excellent reputation among the people, and is a rare good nobleman. Secondly, the army only obeys the Luo family, and not the Ao family. If they did it forcefully, they would probably cause a mutiny. In desperation, Wu Hundian had no choice but to do the next best thing and use poison to forcibly subdue the Luo family and let them do things for themselves. This was also expected by Ning Fengxi. He and Tianlin asked Guran and Yilingling to come to Balak, first suppressed their poison with Jiuxin Begonia, and then collected their blood samples and returned. Du Gubo and Yang Wudi returned. The antidote was refined, and their poison was removed. Ning Fengxi told them that he would continue to work for Wuhan Palace while pretending to be poisoned and try to conquer all the kingdoms and principalities as much as possible. When the day came that they needed to rebel, he would send someone to take care of them. Chapter 427. People who practice hard. Guran and Yilangling learned from the Luo family and his son a lot of the follow-up actions that Wuhan Palace asked them to do, and found a disciple of Qibao Glazed sect and asked him to bring the letter back to the sect. As the richest sect, the Qibao Glazed sect has properties all over the mainland. Now, in order to ensure the timely transmission of information, disciples of the minimum clan have been arranged at many important sites. Important information can be sent to the sect within one day. Ning Fengxi received the letter and found out that Wu Hundian's follow-up actions were very different from what he expected. He replied to the letter and ordered Guran and Li Lingling to continue their activities around the Balak kingdom. But don't pay attention to any of Wuhan Palace's actions. Their strength is not enough to protect themselves. As long as they complete the tasks assigned by Tianlin, he will take care of the rest. At the same time, Qinming's wife Zhaoyan also sent a message. The original 5-element academy had left the original academy due to the pressure of the Wuhan Palace. Among them, the Elephant Academy belonged to the Wuhan Palace, and the Thunder Academy went to the Blow Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. The other 3 colleges were merged into the Xiandao Empire Royal Academy. This is different from the original work, because it was the Xiandao Royal Academy that won the Soul Master Academy competition. They thought it was a good academy, where everyone was good in character and academics, and they didn't know when they won the competition. If you know the truth, will you feel that you have been cheated? In addition, the master also went to the 7 Treasures Glazed sect once. Since he became the national master of the Xiandao Empire, his status is no longer the same as before. The purpose of coming this time was to take Mahanjan away, and he also claimed that he had a powerful immortal. He wanted to buy the precious treasure of medicinal herbs in exchange for his freedom, but because Mahanjan is not here now, the master can only leave. Ning Fengzi felt a little pity. If the little fat man was here, he would have tricked the things first. Alas, such troubled times. Ning Fengzi sighed. Recently, he has received more letters than in the past year, all of which are the latest actions of Wuhan Palace or the 2 empires. The originally peaceful continent has completely become chaotic. Ning Fengzi looked back at the secret room of the Qibao Hall, and then looked at the direction of the back mountain. Uncle Jian, Ocean, you have to work hard. Only when you are out of seclusion can our Qibao Glazed sect officially start operations. At this time, Tianlin, no matter how big things happened outside, even if the world collapsed, he would still be able to carry out his own practice unshackably. The profound state in Hua Huang's meditation method is to unite the mind and body, meditate at the deepest level, completely abandon all distracting thoughts, and spend 12 hours a day in meditation. In order to achieve the fastest breakthrough state. The nutrition of the body can be replenished by absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. This is something that can only be done by the practice of Mother Earth. It's level 85. In just half a year, Ocean has been promoted to 3 levels in a row. At this speed, I'm afraid it won't take him 3 years to break through to the title Douluo. What a profound meditation technique. Meng Bingxi said with emotion. Xiaobei looked at Tianlin with admiration. Uncle Tianlin is so powerful. I feel that his strength has surpassed Xiaobei. After living for so long, I have never seen anyone's strength increase so quickly, not even its mother speeding up the soul power in his body. Tianlin said in his heart, everyone, I will be out soon, wait for me. In the scorching hell, deep in the Suran Valley, Kinming has completed the first test of the 4th black level exam. The baptism of demon flames for half a year, although very painful, has made him progress rapidly. Originally, his level was already as high as level 76. In the past 6 months, he has been practicing under the magic flame, and has been promoted to 2 levels. Because after passing the assessment, the Vulcan granted him another level. Now he has reached level 79, but he is not in a hurry. Instead of passing his second test, he practiced while waiting for Mahanjan to come out. Mahanjan has now reached level 70. His 7th soul ring is the same as in the original work. It comes from the inner elixir of the 10-headed blazing sun snake. But this time, his fire phoenix did not transform into a 7-headed fire phoenix. In the original work, it was basically mutated by the demonic power of the 10-headed fierce sun snake. In fact, the fire phoenix is the strongest martial spirit, so why would it need to transform into that many-headed fire phoenix? Monster of the brain. The demonic flame melted all the demonic power of the 10 blazing sun snakes, and what Mahanjan absorbed was the purest fire attribute energy. Breaking through under the magic flames made his resistance rise again. But as Kinming left the demon flame, all the flames that had lost their share rushed towards Mahanjan. At this moment, his negative emotions were so strong that they were on the verge of reaching their limit. Mahanjan, stop resisting. Absorb all the demonic flames. Your power will be astonishing. You can become the master of the world, hold the power of heaven and earth, and embrace the beauty of the world. If anyone refuses to accept it, you will kill everyone. Deep in my heart, a voice full of temptation kept echoing. Mahanjan knew very well that this was a temptation from the deepest part of his heart. After obeying, he would no longer suffer, but he would no longer be him. Unknowingly, the fire phoenix is gradually turning into a dark phoenix. Damn it, you evil beast. If you insist on forcing me to slaughter the common people, I will die with you. Mahanjan maintained his last sense of reason and hit the surrounding rock walls with powerful and violent flame attacks. In an instant, the entire mountains collapsed, and the ground cracked in Suran Valley Point. He wanted to bury himself alive, so that even if he couldn't control himself, he wouldn't be able to go out and harm others. Hanjin, stop. Kinming roared anxiously, are you just giving up like this? Unfortunately, his voice could not reach Mahanjan's heart at this time. He could no longer receive any sounds from the outside in. The only way was from the inside out. It was precisely for this moment that Tianlin left a backup in his heart, the memory Tianlin implanted in him before he left point. That was the life of the great god he had once told him. At this moment, Mahanjan felt like a movie was playing in his mind. From the time that person was born, scenes emerged one after another. Although Tianlin has told his story a little bit, the picture imprinted in Mahanjan's mind at this moment is as if he is experiencing it himself. I was born into a happy family, with loving parents and filial piety. I have an older brother who cares about my younger siblings, and a well-behaved younger sister. Unfortunately, later on, the family went through great changes. Both his father and brother died, his mother was forced to live in Taoshan, and he fled with his younger sister. After acquiring a skill, he split a mountain to save his mother, but failed in the end. Her mother was sunburned to death. He was angry, and rebelled against the heavenly court. But in the end, he had to give up his hatred for the sake of all living beings in the three realms, and joined the heavenly court, to become the god of justice. However, he did not do it for status. Rather than handing the Dharma to those sanctimonious guys, it is better to keep it in his hands, so that it can better benefit all sentient beings. Unfortunately, this is simply treating the symptoms, rather than the root cause. The outdated laws of heaven have brought disaster to the three realms time and time again, so he decided to amend the laws of heaven and earth, and introduce a set of laws of heaven that truly benefit the people. He endured the humiliation, nurtured his nephew to grow up, and carried all the sins of this world on himself. Even if everyone was betrayed and separated, and his body was broken into pieces, he never flinched once. Is this the life of the great god that the boss mentioned? I'm afraid of sins, but he is carrying sins that should not be borne by him. He attributes all sins to himself, and brings clarity to the world. Mahanjan stretched out his hand, trying to touch the image in front of him. He couldn't help but want to help the great god. But he couldn't touch anything, because it was just an image in his heart. He felt that he was really useless. The sins of demon flame were nothing compared to all the hatred in the world. Boss, is this the real reason why you asked me to target that great god? Thank you, I understand. Mahanjan sat up again, and recited the Taoist method silently. The black on the phoenix wings gradually faded, and became more beautiful than before. A more pure fiery red. Not only that, the surrounding demonic flames are also gradually changing. Mahanjan now does not have to survive for a year, but to inhale all the demonic flames into his body, and purify them all. In this way, he can not only pass the test of the Vulcan, the strength will inevitably usher in explosive growth. Chapter 428. 2.5 years. The moon sets, and the sun rises, day after day. Spring goes to summer, autumn goes to winter solstice, and spring comes back again. Before you know it, 2 more autumns have passed. As the saying goes, one day without seeing you is like 3 autumns, but these young disciples of Qibao glazed sect are ill. Not seen in Sankyu. 2.5 years have passed since Tianlin went into seclusion. Now he has reached level 89, and is hitting the final hurdle. Ningrangrang on Poseidon Island, Mahanjan and others on Scorched Hell have also passed the 3rd test, and are currently taking the 4th test. There are also Guran and Yilingling. They have punished rape and eradicated evil, treated illnesses and saved countless lives for many years. Their reputations today are even better than Tianlin's back then. This can be considered the first step in completing Tianlin's instructions to them. In addition, on the mainland, the past 2 years have not been peaceful. Many major events have occurred. More than a year ago, the expansion conference of the 9 major sects of Wuhan Palace was successfully completed. None of the 3 upper sects participated in this conference. After all, they did not recognize the so-called 9 major sects. However, the purpose of Wuhan Palace in organizing this conference was originally for the sects under their command. Whether the upper 3 sects came or not, they didn't care at all, but because the 3 upper sects were still there, they didn't take away the names of the original upper 3 sects, they just changed the ranking point. There should be 4 sects now, with the 7 Treasures Glazed sect ranking first, the Haotian sect ranking second, the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family third, and the newly promoted Holy Dragon sect ranking fourth. To Obazi, the leader of the Holy Dragon sect, has finally been promoted to a titled Douluo. Most people can recognize this promotion of the Holy Dragon sect. The Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon family does not only have one titled Douluo point for ordinary Soul Masters, as long as they are titled Douluo, the difference between level 91 and level 99 is not big. Anyway, they are both so high, and cannot be offended. The new lower 5 sects are the Black Tiger sect, Windsword sect, Fire Leopard sect, Elephant Armor sect and Bird Bee sect. The sect masters of these 5 sects are all Soul Douluo. If the celestial elephant Hu Yansin is still there, the Elephant Armor sect should be the first among the 5 sects. Unfortunately, after Hu Yansin's death, his successor is far less powerful than him, and is even less powerful than the Quethang sect. The leader of the clan, Bilangi, was slightly stronger, so he had to settle for 4th place. After the expansion meeting of the 9 major sects, the Wuhan Palace announced to the world arrogantly that the Wuhan Palace was the holy land for the Soul Masters of the world, and should manage the Soul Masters of the world. Regardless of whether you are from a sect or an empire, you must follow the martial souls. The law of the temple. In addition to the original 3 sects, 6 sects responded one after another, and for a while, the strength of Wuhan Palace reached its peak. Tianlin's original behavior did indeed delay Bibidong's pace of becoming a god. However, due to the easing of the relationship between Khan Rinxu and Bibidong, the Enshrinement Hall and the Pope's Hall no longer held each other back, but worked together to develop rapidly, far exceeding the original work. Wuhandian also planned to show off its heritage. It happened that 5 years had passed since the last continent-wide Soul Master Elite competition, and they immediately launched a new competition. The Soul Master competition is a tradition in Douluo Continent. Even if the 2 empires have objections to Wuhan Palace, they will not fail to participate in this competition. Especially the Xiandao Empire. They were the last champions. If they retreat this time, the Xiandao Royal Academy will lose face. And they are very confident. After several major element academies merged into Xiandao Royal Academy, Xiandao Royal Academy is also full of talents. It is very easy to form an all-soul sect team. The strongest captain is a Soul King level master. Shubinga, the 56th level Soul King, even though her level was about the same as Feng Xiao, Xian Huahu and others in the last competition, she is actually much younger than them. She is actually only 2 years older than Tianlin, that is to say, she was 16 years old at the time, and is only a little over 21 now. This talent is, I don't know, much better than that of Feng Xiaoshan, who was born with full soul power. Of course, this is also because Feng Xiaoshan spent a lot of energy on creating his own soul skills. It was obvious that Shubinga was also born with full soul power. If her Ice Phoenix was properly cultivated, its potential could even surpass Mahanjan's Fire Phoenix. After all, Mahanjan's innate soul power was only at level 9. Although the Xiandao Empire does not have Xianlin this time, it is still confident with such strong support. After all, it is impossible for Wuhan Palace to have 3 more golden generations. If there is only one, she is no match for Shubinga. Her talent is actually much stronger than that of the golden generation. Hulina, who was the most talented among the 3, was at her age. Even with the soul bone of her head, the level is slightly lower than hers, but in the end Shubinga still lost. She lost not at the hands of her opponent, but at the hands of one of her own. It was really frustrating. Not long after the major element academies merged into Xiandao Royal Academy, Feng Xiaoshan and others discovered something was wrong. Is this a college? This is clearly a small society, where comparison is prevalent. Everyone lives a luxurious life, and only tries to flatter others. It is not a place for learning at all. But by then they had already merged in, and it was too late to regret it. Gradually, the originally good-tempered students of the College of Element also experienced certain changes. in less than a year. Most of them were ruined. Those who can still maintain their true intentions are the young geniuses who participated in the last conference, such as Feng Xiaoshan, Huo Wu, Zhu Wu and others, but these people are all over 25 years old, and most of them have even graduated. Now they stay in the college and assist in the management of the college as teaching assistants or education committee members. Especially Feng Xiaoshan has become the vice president of the Element Academy. The 29-year-old Sol Emperor was 3 years older than Qinming. Sure enough, once he entered the state of penance with full innate soul power, his strength advanced so fast that no one could compare. Without the assistance of these excellent teammates, Shubinga led a group of combat scum with a fair level and almost zero actual combat ability. It can be said that one fights 7 in every game, and even if they drag their feet, they will fight 10. Among them, her biological sister Shujua was of some help to her. Unfortunately, Shujua was an infomaniac with a simple personality. She got lost in the world of flowers not long after entering Xiandao Royal Academy. It has to be said that, although the people in Xiandao Royal Academy are not very good, they are all born into noble families, and most of them have good appearance and temperament. Shujua, who likes to look at faces, can't stand the temptation. If it weren't for she has a sister who has been taking care of her, but she is afraid that she has been abducted by some noble and lost her virginity. In this atmosphere, Shujua didn't work hard in training the year before the competition, and his actual combat ability was even worse than it was 5 years ago. In the finals, Shubinga's teammates faced the brave and capable Wuhandian Academy team, but they were all beaten in just a few encounters. She was left alone, besieged by 7 high-level soul sects, and ultimately defeated with bruises all over her body. In this battle, Xiandao Royal Academy was humiliated. Yes, they reached the finals, but everyone could see that they basically relied on Shubinga's hard power to push them all the way. If without her, they might not be able to win a game. And Shubinga is from the Element Academy, so you can imagine how bad the Xiandao Royal Academy is. It is hard to imagine that this is the academy that produced an ace team like Huangdao back then. Without the Huangdao team, the Xiandao Royal Academy is like a tiger with its teeth pulled out. It is really vulnerable. So far, Wuhandian Academy has regained its position as the #1 academy, attracting countless young people to join. Chapter 429 The Forgettable Friendship. Shubinga and Yang Wudi. Xiandao Royal Academy. 1 year has passed since the last competition ended, but many students are still immersed in joy and pride. Yes, not only did they not feel embarrassed, but they felt very proud, because although they did not win the championship, they still finished second and suppressed the Star Luo Royal Academy. But they never thought that they could achieve such results, all because of Shubinga's efforts. And even the students they sent, even if they couldn't help Shubinga bear anything, as long as they didn't hold back and were defeated by their opponents in 1 or 2 moves, they still had to. Shubinga may have hope of victory if she takes care of him. A bunch of trash, not ashamed but proud. Huo Wu gritted his teeth in anger as he looked at this group of nobles who had completely fallen into a state of depravity. Little sister, don't speak nonsense. Huo Washan quickly stopped her from talking nonsense. This is not their Blazing Fire Academy. The original Blazing Fire Academy campus has long been occupied by the branch of Wuhandian Academy. Now they are living under someone else's roof. Here and they are all imperial nobles, so it would be bad if they offended someone. HMPH, Washan, Sister Huao is right. We were tricked by Tianlin this time. If it hadn't been for him coming out of Xiandao Royal Academy, we wouldn't have come here thinking it was a good academy. If we had known earlier, I'd rather go to Shrek's. Feng Xiaoshan is completely on Huo Wu's side. Besides, as the deputy dean of the School of Element, he hates the students who have been taught badly, and even settles the scores. Arriving at Tianlin's head, where is Binga? Zhu Wu suddenly couldn't find Shubinga. The few of them had always been a small group, the few people who could maintain their true intentions in Huahua Academy, just like the Imperial fighter team back then. Sister has been harassed by the prince in the academy, so she hid. Shujua said helplessly. Shubinga is now the #1 goddess in the academy. With her stunning appearance, top-notch martial arts and superhuman talent, she has led the academy all the way to the finals of the Soul Master competition. Now those who pursue her in the academy can start from the sky. There was a queue at the entrance of Daocheng all the way to the Qibao glazed sect point. Among them, the one who pursued the most fiercely was Zhu Beng, the current prince. There has been no news about Tang San, Tang Heo and his son in the past 3 years. No matter how stupid they are, they all know that something might have happened to them. Even if Tang San wants to go into seclusion, he won't not send back even a letter. And Tang Heo, he just went to hunt soul beasts, but he never came back even once in the past 3 years. Both the Xiandao royal family and the Haitian sect were extremely anxious at this time and sent a large number of manpower to search for them. Unfortunately, their bodies had been destroyed by Tianlin, and they could not be found. Even if the Douluo Continent was turned over to Zhu Beng, the importance of these two people is self-evident. Not only are they the bridge between the Xiandao Empire and the Haitian sect, they are also very powerful in combat. Tang San has the qualifications to be titled, and Tang Heo is a current Super Douluo 1. Not to mention that Tang San's hidden weapons were still the core of the Tang family's army, even though he handed over basic hidden weapons such as the Zhuge Lion and silent sleeve arrows to Taitan. Before leaving point, however, the Tang family's army, which was only equipped with hidden weapons of this level, could barely deal with opponents at the Soul King level of the Soul Sect. However, when encountering masters above the Soul Emperor, the effect would be greatly reduced. When the master proposed to deal with the Soul Master core of Wuhan Palace, the real hope was Buddha's Furious Tanglian and Heavy Rain Pear Blossom Needle. If we don't take out the high-end combat power of Wuhandian, there is no point. But the blueprints for these high-end hidden weapons were only in the hands of Tang San. Without him, even if Taitan was a master craftsman, he wouldn't be able to make them. Zhu Beng was never one to sit still and wait for death. Now that Tang San might have a problem, he looked for other helpers. Several major element academies were his next targets. The deans of these academies are all contra-level masters, capable of fighting against the new 5 sect leaders of Wuhan Palace. There are also those students, all of whom have extraordinary qualifications. The strongest ones are not inferior to the original Imperial Douluo team, especially Shubinga, who is beautiful and sassy, and has more talent than Feng Xiaoshan. She is a properly titled Douluo capital. Zhu Beng planned to subdue her, just like he did with Tang San. Tang San was a man, and the best relationship was with a sworn brother. But for a beauty like Shubinga, it was of course the safest way to marry her. Zhu Beng and Tianlin are similar in this respect. They both like to recruit talented people from outside for their family, but Tianlin wants them to join voluntarily, while Zhu Beng is more unscrupulous. Shubinga knew the basics. Although she hated Zhu Beng very much, she never rejected him decisively. Otherwise, it would undoubtedly be an embarrassment to the prince of the country. Moreover, they were living under someone else's roof and they really couldn't afford to offend the Xiandao royal family. Otherwise, he would offend both the Wuhan Palace and the Royal Academy of Element, and the Douluo Continent would no longer have a foothold. Therefore, Shubinga's best way is to hide and disappear every day, so that Zhu Beng can't find her. HMPH, the toad wants to eat swan meat. With Zhu Beng's kind of stuff, even a prince is not worthy of Sister Binga. Huo Wu said disdainfully. Although Zhu Beng looked like a wise prince, Huo Wu noticed that the way he looked at her sometimes contained a strong possessive look. If she hadn't already been engaged to Feng Xiaoshan, I'm afraid he wouldn't even let her go. Where will Binga go? Zhu Wu asked worriedly. Where else could it be? Of course it would be a place that even Zhu Beng would not dare to offend. Feng Xiaoshan quickly guessed that people who can be the vice dean are always wiser than others. On the mountainside of Qibao mountain, Shubinga was sitting alone on the edge of a cliff practicing. The scenery here was beautiful and quiet. She liked it very much. Hey, Miss Shu, you are here to take refuge again. A heroic voice sounded behind her. Shubinga turned her head and saw Yang Wudi walking over carrying a basket of herbs. Yang Wudi often collects herbs in the mountains. Over time, the two gradually became familiar with each other. They have known each other for 2 years, and now they have become close friends. Yang Wubi admired Shubinga very much. She had a gentle personality, a kind heart, and her talents and potential were much better than his own god-granddaughter Bei Chengxiang. Even if Mahanjan didn't take the fairy grass, he would definitely not be able to compare with her. Senior Yang, you came to collect the medicine yourself again? Shubinga said with a smile. Yes, Collecting herbs and refining them is my biggest hobby in this life. I don't want to take advantage of others. Yang Wudi sat next to Shubinga and opened a basket of herbs. By the way, Miss Shu, I'll show it to you. A good thing. As he spoke, Yang Wudi took out a snow white plant in the shape of a silkworm baby. Senior, what is this? Shubinga asked in confusion. This is called snow silkworm, a medicinal herb I cultivated in the ice and fire eyes in the past 2 years. Miss Shu, I remember that your ice phoenix has always been out of your control, right? Once you use your full strength to attack, it is easy to lose control and hurt people. Therefore, you only use 70% of your strength even in the finals of the Soul Master Academy competition. Otherwise, without the golden generation of Wuhandian Academy, even if you are besieged, you may not be the opponent of Ice Phoenix. Yang Wudi praised without hesitation. Shubinga was a little embarrassed. Senior is so complimentary. You don't have to be so humble. What I said is the truth. Those guys in Wuhan Palace bully the young and bully the young. They also take advantage of others' danger because of your kindness. I really can't stand it, so I decided to use this snow silkworm as the main material to help you refine. Make a snow spirit pill, and after taking it, the strength of your martial spirit may not change, but I guarantee that you will be able to control your martial spirit. Yang Wudi promised. Hearing this, Shubinga was very excited. Senior, what you said is true. It has always been her dream to control her Ice Phoenix spirit. Of course you are serious. You don't need to wait too long. It only takes a month. I promise to deliver the elixir to you. Chapter 430, Coveting Shubing, 039, Zubeng and -039's purpose. After receiving Yang Wuda's promise, Shubinga was in a good mood. As long as her Ice Phoenix spirit could be controlled freely, she could become stronger. She and Feng Xiaoshan were the only 2 titled Douluo in the Elemental Academy. In order to completely get rid of the state of being dependent on others and seeking perfection, they must be banned one day. If she can completely control the Ice Phoenix spirit, then she can do her best in both training and fighting, and she will definitely be able to speed up the process of being banned. It was already dark when Shubinga returned to the academy. She thought she wouldn't meet Zubeng and the others at this point, but she didn't expect that. Not long after she stepped into the academy, she heard that annoying voice. Binga, where are you and your sister? Why haven't you seen anyone all day? I've been waiting since daytime. Zubeng actually waited until now in the academy. He had been pretending to be useless for many years in order to save his life, just waiting for an opportunity. In terms of patience, he was definitely at the level of a titled Douluo. Shubinga's expression was very unnatural. She wanted to be angry, but she didn't dare. She lowered her head and said, hello, see your highness. Binga just went to stroll around. I don't know that his highness is waiting for Binga here. I'm tired of waiting for you. Please forgive me, his royal highness. In addition, Binga likes to go out, so she is often away from the academy. In order to prevent His Highness the Crown Prince from wasting his time, I would like to ask His Highness the Crown Prince not to come again in the future. If you have any important matters, just let the servants in the palace convey them to you. There is no need for you to go there in person. When Shubinga said this, she actually expressed her rejection. What did Sister Binga say? As long as I see Sister Binga coming back, I can wait for as long as I want. By the way, if Sister Binga is willing, she will become the queen of the Xiandao Empire in the future. So how can my servants be qualified to talk to Sister Binga? Beng's expression of love was unabashed, and Shubinga was really helpless about it. Thank you very much for His Highness the Crown Prince's love, but Binga is only focused on cultivation now, and may have to live up to His Highness the Crown Prince's good intentions. Getting married will not affect your cultivation. As long as Sister Binga marries me, the Empire's resources will be at your disposal. As your husband, I will do my best to help you seal your title as soon as possible. Zubeng pressed forward step by step. Shubinga didn't want to agree, and she couldn't bear to lose face by Zubeng by refusing forcefully, so she had to say, Your Highness, please think about it carefully. The night is already deep and Binga needs to rest. Your Highness, Prince, please take leave. Delaying and leaving were the only solutions Shubinga could think of. Seeing Shubinga preparing to leave, Zubeng suddenly said, Sister Binger, I know you went to Qibao Mountain today. The scenery there is really good, but Tianlin Mountain, don't give in too much. If it's just to enjoy the scenery, Binger, there is really no need for my sister to run so far. Just tell me, and I will take you all over the Xiandao Mountains, even to visit the mountains of the Xiandao Empire. You sent someone to follow me. Binger finally got a little angry this time. No matter how hard she tried, she still had a bottom line. How can this be considered stalking? Sister Binger goes out alone. How can I rest assured if I don't send someone to protect you secretly? Moreover, you are going to a place like Qibao Mountain. In the past few years, the development momentum of Qibao Glazed sect has stagnated. As small as a mouse, it is rumored that they may even be preparing to surrender to the Wuhan Palace. I would like to advise Sister Binger that you should have less contact with them. Zhu Beng said completely shamelessly without blushing or panting. Thank you for your concern, His Majesty the Crown Prince. Binger is aware of this, so please leave. Binger suppressed her anger and left. Of course she knew how much criticism the Qibao Glazed sect had received in the past few years. It has even aroused the dissatisfaction of the royal family and even all the forces opposed to Wuhan Palace. They clearly hold the two major killer weapons of Sword Douluo Chenzin and Sword Lord Jun Tianlin, but they are indifferent to the recent development of Wuhan Palace. Even if disciples who were out on business met people from Wuhan Hall, they would mostly stay away, with the word coward written all over their faces. In contrast, the Haitian sect was meticulous in its efforts to deal with the Wuhan Palace, showing the domineering power of the former #1 sect in the world, which also greatly increased the royal family's goodwill towards them. Nowadays, the labels of the two major sects in many people's minds are polarized. The Haitian sect is brave and resourceful, loyal to the emperor, patriotic, and not afraid of power, while the Qibao Glazed sect is two-faced, a wallflower, and as timid as a mouse pointing fangs. He always laughed at these remarks. Whether his Qibao Glazed sect was as cowardly as a mouse would only be known after the pair of sword masters and disciples came out of seclusion. Looking at Binger's leaving back, Zhu Beng snorted coldly. Humph, you really don't know what is good or bad. The Element Academy now depends on me, the Xiandao Royal Academy, to survive, but this woman is still trying to push me away. When I get it, I have to let it go. She must taste my majesty on the bed. Your Highness, I have a way to ensure that you embrace this beauty. At this time, the attendant following Zhu Beng said flatteringly, "Oh, tell me what you can do. If it works, I will reward you greatly." Zhu Beng said with interest. Binger is different from ordinary civilian women. She has an elder from Contra, and she is a peerless genius. He can't. Yang Qiang is distressed. This method is very simple. On the one hand, you can invite His Majesty to propose marriage with great fanfare, and at the same time, arrange some people to spread rumors that Binger has agreed. Hearing the attendant's words, Zhu Beng's eyes lit up. Isn't this just an honest conspiracy? The royal family went to propose marriage in person. If Binger's family refused, the royal family would lose face. If that's the case, the royal family may be able to endure it, but if the news that Binger agreed to the wedding has spread outside, then if they refuse again, it will not be as simple as denying face, but a crime of deceiving the emperor. Unlike the royal family, who completely broke their skin, and unlike the powerful Qibao Glazed sect, today's Elemental Academy definitely does not have this confidence. Zhu Beng nodded. Good idea, but you said one thing wrong. I don't know. I would like to ask your highness for advice. That means Binger agreed to marry me. It's not a rumor, it's a fact. I was invited by her to propose marriage. Do you understand? Zhu Beng said with a smile. Yes, your highness, I understand. I will make arrangements now. The attendant ordered. Zhu Beng was very proud. In fact, he was not just a lustful person. It was true that he was attracted by Binger's beauty, but the more important reason was the power behind Binger. 3 contrasts together are enough to deal with an ordinary titled Douluo. You must know that the number of contrasts in their Xiandao royal family does not exceed 8. As long as they are conquered, the high-end combat power of the royal family will suddenly increase. It's close to 50%. Not to mention, Binger can definitely become a titled Douluo. After he succeeds to the throne in the future, He really needs a titled Douluo belonging to the royal family. If that titled Douluo is his wife, it will be even better. Chapter 431 Breakthrough Level 90. Back in her room, Shubinga sat on the edge of the bed, bit her lower lip, and forced to hold back her tears. She was a very strong girl, but now faced with Zhu Beng's tracking and surveillance, she had no choice but to practice hard. Hoping that one day, I can truly control my own freedom. Point on the other side, back at the palace, Zhu Beng immediately told Emperor Zhu Yi that he wanted to marry Shubinga, hoping that he could propose marriage to Shubinga's elders on his behalf. Emperor Zhu Yi agreed to this trivial matter without even thinking about it. Shubinga had a contra-level mother, her status was considered noble, her own strength and talent were very strong, and she was worthy of his own crown prince. After getting Zhu Yi's consent, Zhu Beng returned to the East Palace and sent many people to let everyone know that he and Shubinga were about to get married. After all, Shubinga was not the same Tianlin and Ning Rangrang as before. Under such circumstances, she would never dare to break up with the royal family. Even if she didn't want to, she would have to marry in order to protect the royal family's face. Zhu Beng had a good idea, but unfortunately, the timing was bad. Just when he was making preparations, a guy who had not dealt with him since childhood and liked to go against him took the last step. At noon the next day, with the Qibao glazed sectors a center and a radius of hundreds of miles, the sky was originally clear and cloudless, but suddenly dark clouds covered it, and a light rain began to fall. No one cared about it at all. It was just a shower, nothing serious, but the shower was really short. It cleared up in less than a minute, and the sun was even stronger than before. Then a comfortable breeze blew by, and dark clouds gathered in the sky again, but instead of rain, there were bursts of thunder on the earth. The plants seemed to be nourished by the earth, and began to grow rapidly. 5 different visions, constantly switching back and forth, can be called a spectacle. In the Xiandao Royal Academy, Huo Wu looked at the sky in confusion. What is going on? I have never seen such a chaotic sky. What happened? Is this someone making a breakthrough? Feng Zhioshan's eyes widened. Legend has it that when a soul master breaks through to the title Douluo level, his powerful power will cause some changes. For example, Thunder Eagle Douluo Yin Yang, when he broke through, the sky was full of thunder. When Ning Fengzi broke through, a 9-colored ray of light rose into the sky. When Sword Douluo broke through, the sky was torn apart by sword light. But those were only for a moment, but the current vision lasted for a full 10 minutes, and it kept switching. This vision seems to have spread from the 7 treasures glazed sect. Shubinga guessed. After hearing Shubinga's words, Feng Zhioshan, Huo Wu, Zhu Wu and others all flashed that name in their minds from the Qibao glazed sect. Ning Fengzi, Gurong, Du Gubo, and Yin Yang walked out of the Qibao hall. Ning Fengzi said, haha, such a vision is clearly the embodiment of the attributes of the 5 spirits of water, fire, wind, thunder, and earth. It can be aroused to such an extent. It seems that our Zhioshan succeeded. Gu Rang nodded. Yes, drizzle, warm sun, gentle wind, thunder and the power of the earth that nourishes all things. These are the phenomena that can only be produced by Zhioshan's martial spirit. The soul is born from the heart. This child has experienced the experience of the killing city, and his temper is still so good. If he were a person with a violent temper, the visions that would appear at this moment would be heavy rain, scorching sun, strong winds, thunder, and earthquakes. Du Gubo smiled. When he broke through, the terrifying poison turned a 10-mile radius into a barren land. Zhioshan, you succeeded. Level 90. In the secret room, Qian Mengbingxi was extremely excited. It took 2.5 years. With the double increase of the ultimate attributes and the Holy Spirit field, Tianlin achieved the feat of other contrasts. What he couldn't do in 20 years, he finally reached level 90 soul power. He was only 1 soul ring away from being successfully banned. Yes, it's finally done. Brother Xian Meng, Xiao Bei, as long as I hunt for the 9th ring, there will be no place in the world that I can't go to. Tianlin was extremely confident. He believed that, even if he had just reached level 90, and will definitely not lose to those veteran Super Douluo experts. You, brat, you have finally reached this point. In the God realm, God Shura looked down at the lower realm, his eyes full of relief. He could see that the day when he would inherit the divine position and gain freedom was not far away. Then, this thing is your reward for completing the 5th test. As he spoke, God Shura flicked his arm and threw a shining golden God-given soul ring towards the lower realm point. At this time, the voice of Shura God's test immediately sounded in Tianlin's mind. After the 5th test of Shura God is completed, the reward for Shura God's affinity is 15%. The current level is 55%, and a God-given soul will be awarded. 1 ring. The 6th test of Shura God. Some changes have occurred in the world. One of the main changes is the city of killing. The examiner is now given a new ability, the pupil of judgment, which can clearly see the extent of people's sins. Please take the test, go to the killing city to find out the truth and eliminate all the evildoers in the killing city. The 5th test is over, and the 6th test is here. It seems that Master Shura God is also in a hurry this time. Tianlin murmured, but this time he is much more generous. The Eye of Judgment is quite interesting, so I will be able to. Don't be afraid of killing a good person by mistake. There is still God's gift. Wait a minute, there's actually a God-given soul ring this time. Tianlin noticed that God Shura had spent a lot of money this time, and actually gave him a God-given soul ring. This way, he didn't have to hunt for souls. It is much more convenient for beasts to advance. The lifespan of a God-given soul ring depends entirely on the physical quality and soul strength of the absorber. According to Tianlin's current level, at least 500,000 should not be a problem. A glittering golden soul ring suddenly appeared in front of him. Tianlin stepped forward to take it. Is this a God-given soul ring? It indeed contains divine power and is very strong. It's strange. Is this what a God-given soul ring looks like? I've heard legends. It's said that it's made with only 1/10,000th of the divine power of the gods. But is the divine power in this soul ring too high? Xian Mengbinken said doubtfully. Forget it, no matter what. Xiaoshan, hurry up and absorb it. Remember, you must push your limit to more than 800,000 years. After breaking through the 90th level, I will give you the million-year soul ring and soul bone. The seal has been completely unsealed, and now you are definitely the best in the world in terms of physical fitness and soul strength. Tianlin's 500,000 years was indeed too conservative, and Xian Meng Iceworm actually asked for 800,000 years. This is nearly twice as long as the age of the dark gold terror claw bear, but that's okay. Tianlin likes to challenge the limit the most. He immediately sat cross-legged and pulled the soul ring over to absorb it. At this moment, the originally sparkling golden soul ring began to change, directly turning into a red ring and putting it on the magic sword. There were 5 golden patterns on the soul ring. This God-given soul ring actually started 500,000 years ago. Next, it depends on Tianlin's endurance limit. How high can it be improved? There is something going on tomorrow, so I may not have time to update, so I will update in advance. If I come back early tomorrow, I will update as usual. Sorry dear book lovers. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 432 Forced Marriage. Xiaoshan, this soul ring is not simple. It starts 500,000 years ago. It seems that the Shura God did not have any other rewards before, just to wait for you to play a big one when you reach level 90. Xian Mengbinken said in shock. I understand. Not only that, this soul ring contains at least 6 kinds of divine power. The one who created its shape should be the Shura God, and the one who injects other powers, if I guessed correctly, is the elemental god. Tianlin was already at this moment. Run the technique with all your strength to absorb the soul ring. He could clearly feel that when absorbing this soul ring, the 5 spirit attributes in his magic sword were improving, and they were not improved in one go, but in sequence. Now the attribute strength in his magic sword, from weakest to strongest, is fire, wind, thunder, water, and earth. Therefore, the first thing to be promoted is fire. When the intensity of fire is raised to the same as that of wind, wind will follow suit, followed closely by thunder. This soul ring is actually helping Tianlin's magic sword adjust the imbalance of attribute power. It's really hard work, Lord Shura God. Thank you very much. Tianlin was grateful, and then summoned the soul bone armor, raised his physical fitness to the limit, and then entered deep meditation. He must absorb this soul ring with all his strength. The longer the absorption time, the life of the soul ring will be higher. At the same time, a piece of good news spread in Qibao city. Their great crown prince was getting married, and unlike the usual concubines, he was getting married this time to his official wife. The target is none other than the goddess with the ice phoenix spirit, Shubinga. At this point, the people of Qibao city could only sneer. How could this Zubeng be worthy of Shubinga? But they didn't dare to talk nonsense, so they could only keep all their contempt in their hearts and say congratulations to His Highness the Crown Prince. Emperor Zhu Yi immediately ordered Prince Zhu Crossing to go to Shubinga's house to propose marriage with generous gifts. Shubinga's mother is Shu Qingwu, the former dean of Xianshu Academy. She is an 83 level contrab warrior. She has the same ice phoenix spirit as Shubinga, but her ice phoenix quality is not as good as Shubinga's. He can usually attack with all his strength. He is a rare strong man below the title in the world. Although he is only an 83 level contrap, his real combat power can rival an 89 level high level contrap. It's a pity that this woman's marriage is not happy. She is too much stronger than her husband, which makes the women in the family strong and the men weak. However, she has a stronger personality. In the end, her husband drifts away from her and cheats on her with another woman. She just gave birth to Shubinga's sister Jua. She originally wanted to beat the man to death with one slap, but it could be seen from Shubinga's education that she was also a kind-hearted woman, so she chose to let him go. After that, the irresponsible man left his little daughter Jua and ran away. Shu Qingwu adopted Jua and gave her own surname, and she became Shu Jua today. This experience made her not very good at men's senses, so Xianshu Academy only admitted women and never allowed men to enter. But today, looking at Prince Zuxing sitting in the guest seat and the eunuch reading out the betrothal gift list, the anger she had hidden for many years was almost aroused again. Dean Shu, what are you thinking about? Our Xiandao Empire is very sincere, Prince Zhu Crossing said with a smile. Shu Qingwu had to admit that the Xiandao Empire was really generous this time. Not only did the betrothal gift include countless gold soul coins, it even included a 10,000-year soul bone, plus 10 precious soul tools. It also promised to help people in Xiandao City. She built a new Xianshu college, so that she no longer had to rely on others. If it were for other demands, she might have agreed, but what they want now is her daughter's lifelong happiness. Zhu Beng is definitely not someone who can be entrusted with life. Shu Qingwu cannot fail to see that. She has been hurt by love and does not want her daughter to make the same mistake again. I'm sorry, Your Highness. Just as Shu Qingwu was about to refuse, Prince Zuxing interrupted with a gloomy expression. Dean Shu, I advise you to think clearly before speaking. Why don't you ask your daughter what she thinks? It's being spread outside now that you, my daughter, and our crown prince are in love with each other and have been committed to each other for life. It was she who suggested that we come to propose marriage. What, do you want to play a trick on our royal family? Nonsense. My sister won't fall in love with that Prince Zhu Beng, Shu Jua said angrily. She could see how much her sister hated Zhu Beng. How could such a sister fall in love with Zhu Beng? Jua, shut up. Shubinga immediately stopped her sister's unbridled talk, belittling Zhu Beng in front of Prince Zhu Crossing, which was a provocation to the royal family. Your Highness, my sister is not sensible. Please don't blame me. It's just that I don't have much communication with His Highness the Prince, and I rarely get along alone, let alone any congenial feelings. I really don't know where the rumors came from, so please don't believe it. HMPH, this can't be denied with just a rumor. Now everyone knows about your relationship with the prince, and the news of your marriage has spread throughout the Xiandao Empire. Even the wedding date has been set. It will be just 1 month later. Let me tell you, countless kingdoms and principalities under our Xiandao Empire have sent congratulatory memorials and gifts. Now you tell me that these are all rumors. If you don't marry, where will the face of my Xiandao Empire be put? Zuxing suddenly became furious for the royal family. It no longer matters whether the information that has been spread is a rumor. Now Shubinga has to marry regardless of whether she is married or not. Nothing is more important than the royal family's face. Prince, please forgive me. Binger is willing to explain to the people that this is all a misunderstanding. Please tell His Majesty and give Binger some time. Binger said quickly. Explanation? How do you plan to explain it to everyone and tell everyone that you don't like the prince at all and that the prince only has unrequited love? Then how do you want the future prince of my empire to meet people and how to rule the world in the future? Zuxing asked. You have no jokes and the royal family has no jokes. These words are not just words. Once spread, they must be fulfilled. Miss Shu, I will give you 3 days to think about it. After 3 days, if you still refuse, then our Xiandao Empire will do anything to save face. After Zhu Crossing finished speaking, he shook his sleeves and said coldly. He left Binger's house with a hum. As soon as he came out, Zuxing ordered to his men, send an army to surround this place and dispatch 2 royal Sword Douluo to guard it. No one from the Shu family is allowed to leave within 3 days. Also, dispatch 3 from the Xiandao Royal Academy. Let the Education Committee warn Huo Ran and Feng Yuan IE that this matter has nothing to do with them and tell them not to meddle in their own business. The other 2 contras of the Elemental Academy are the Dean of Blazing Fire Academy and the Dean of Divine Wind Academy. If they want to help Shu Qingwu, it will indeed be a troublesome matter. As for the Thunder Academy, the actual managers are actually the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. They have kept a low profile like the Qibao glazed sect in recent years, and they probably won't meddle in other people's business. Chapter 433 Ningfeng leads to Gung-Ho. Damn it, they actually sealed off our mansion. It was obviously Zhu Beng who was spreading rumors about him and his sister, but now it's all our fault. Shujua looked through the window and saw the people surrounding their mansion. The royal knights were extremely dissatisfied. Prince Zuxing also found a very legitimate reason to protect the future crown princess of the Xiandao Empire. Regarding this, the Shu sisters only have 2 words to say: shameless. To the royal family, the cause of this matter is no longer important. What they want now is the result. For them, nothing is more important than the royal family's face. Shu Qingwu murmured. Her mood was not the same. Very good, but there is nothing she can do about it. Although she is also a powerful contra level, a contra is not an unprovoked opponent to the behemoth of the Xiandao Empire. Especially this contra itself is still under the protection of other status. Mother, why don't we ask Grandpa Huo and Uncle Feng for help? They don't dare to mess with the 3 contras, Shujua suggested. Shu Qingwu shook her head. No, do you think Prince Zuxing will be so stupid? If my guess is right, he must have sent someone to warn them. If they are all only free spirit masters, they may not be afraid threats, but they are also raising families, and as the dean, I have to care about the hundreds of students in the college. Now that the 4-element academy has offended the spirit hall, except for the Thunder Academy and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family as its backers, our other 3 schools have no leeway and can only rely on the Xiandao Empire. Under such circumstances, I guess they will choose to sacrifice Binger. Hearing this, Shu Binger, who was originally very happy because of Yang Wuda's promise, suddenly fell into despair. Even if she could control her Ice Phoenix spirit, it would be of no use. Her freedom and future were gone. The students in Xianshu College are all girls. They are more fragile than those in the other 3 colleges. We cannot give up on them. If I have to sacrifice myself to give them a future, then I will marry you. Shu Binger swayed. He left his mother and sister. She didn't even know how she got back to the room. As soon as she came back, she covered herself in the bed and cried uncontrollably. Shujua leaned against the door of her sister's room and was filled with grief when she heard the crying coming from inside. She had never seen her strong sister like this. Unfortunately, her power is too weak. In this case, unless a titled Douluo comes forward, no one is qualified to seek justice for her sister. But now the titled Douluo in the Xiandao Empire only exist in the upper 3 sects, and they should not turn against the Xiandao Empire over Shu Binger. That would be too unworthy. Just when the 2 sisters were in despair, Ning Fengzi, who was far away on Qibao Mountain, also learned the news in Xiandao City. Although he had acted very cowardly in the past few years, in fact, what he should do was not ambiguous at all. Using the intelligence network established by the Minimum Clan, He knew everything happening on the mainland, big and small. Point looking at the latest information in his hand. Ningfeng, he said sinisterly, haha, Zhu Beng wants to marry Xu Bing'er. Isn't this a coincidence? If it had been a month earlier, I would have been helpless, but I chose this time. I have seen this Xu Bing'er. He is a titled Douluo talent. His qualifications and potential are stronger than anyone in the Imperial fighting team before taking the jelly grass except Tianlin. Yin Yang judged that the intelligence team's boss, it would be such a shame if we didn't even collect information about such a talented person. By the way, this Xu Bing'er seems to be a friend of Liao Yang. He talked about this girl last time he came back and expressed his admiration for her kindness and excellence. Du Qibao recalled that he and Yang Wudi were in the same department. I heard Yang Wudi mention it many times. Ningfeng, he smiled slightly. That's right. In fact, I already knew that Liao Yang and Xu Bing'er became close friends. This matter can be manipulated. Liao Yang seems to be helping Xu Bing'er refine medicine now. The timing is very coincidental. The elixir is released at the same time as the wedding date, so he shouldn't go out during this period, so he immediately ordered that no one should tell him about Xu Bing'er's marriage to Zhu Beng until the wedding day arrives. Feng. ZHI, do you want to support the fire? Gu Rong asked with wide eyes. Yang Wudi has such a violent temper. He was a gangster who dared to fight to the death with Wuhan Palace. Once he learned that his friend was going to be forced to marry someone he didn't like, he would definitely not sit back and ignore it, and might even kill him. Go to Xiandao Imperial City to save people. Moreover, Ningfeng deliberately delayed telling him until the wedding day, which made the problem even more serious. Didn't this mean that he was planning to let Yang Wudi make a scene at the wedding? Ningfeng shook his head. The fire is not big enough, Uncle Haiying. Go and collect all the materials about bullying men and women before Zhu Beng, and find an opportunity to let Liao Yang see it inadvertently. Fengzi, do you know that Liao Yang is from our Qibao Glazed sect? If he went to make a big fuss at the prince's wedding banquet, it would be tantamount to our sect completely breaking up with the Xiandao royal family. Weren't you always very kind in the past 2 years? Are you keeping a low profile? Well, tell Uncle Gu, have you eaten anything strange recently? Gu Rong didn't understand Ningfeng's thoughts, and even suspected that he was out of his mind. Uncle Bones, I kept a low profile in the past few years, because I didn't want anyone to disturb Xiaoshan's retreat. But you have all noticed the visions in the past few days. There is no doubt that it was proof that Xiaoshan broke through to level 90. Now that he has achieved the level of title Douluo, our 7 treasure glazed tile sect has been silent for 2 years, and it's time to take action. For Xiaoshan, who has broken through the ban, the royal family has no use value anymore. I just want to find a legitimate reason to break up with them, and then find an opportunity to get rid of them completely. I guess Xiaoshan will be released in these few days. When the time comes, I will ask him to support Yang Wudi and let them become the first sacrifice of the title Douluo Xianlin. Ningfeng, he said with a ferocious smile. In fact, in the past few years, Ningfeng had been intentionally or unintentionally offending the royal family in order to one day separate from them. However, like Tianlin, he valued reputation, so he needed a legitimate reason. He could not leave voluntarily, but was forced to go. You need to take it step by step. If there was an avalanche of chaos at the wedding banquet this time, he didn't believe that Emperor Zhu Yi could still sit still. Even if he didn't send an army to encircle and suppress the Qibao Glazed sect openly, he would definitely do something secretly. At that time, they will be able to become famous in their actions. In addition, Ningfeng has a deeper plan, which is to conquer the Elemental Academy. After the Continental War, the mainland would inevitably be in dire straits. Ningfeng planned to build the largest college in the center of the unified continent. He would not care about government affairs, people's livelihood, or military affairs, but would simply be responsible for teaching students. This is like the Shrek Academy in later generations, which continuously supplies talents to the mainland. The faculty of the Element Academy is still good, and can lay a solid foundation for this academy. Chapter 434 Yang Wudi's Wrath. Tianlin sprints for the 2nd million-year soul ring. A month has passed quickly, and now the entire Xiandao city is decorated with lights and colorful full of a festive atmosphere, because tomorrow is the wedding point under the coercion of the royal family. Shubinga finally compromised. She had no other choice but to marry Zubeng Point. Even the two deans of Blazing Fire Academy and Divine Wind Academy personally came to persuade her that, as long as she became the queen of the empire, the benefits to the Element Academy would be huge. Just as Shu Qingwu expected, these two deans felt sorry for Shubing. However, they were burdened with the future of more children. For them, Shubinga could only be sacrificed. Haha, the elixir is ready. Yang Wudi was very excited at the Qibao Glazed Sect Medicine Hall. He used the Yaoxiang Kilo Immortal to cause certain mutations in the snow silkworms, and then refined the elixir for a month before finally successfully refining the snow spirit elixir. This elixir has little effect on improving skill. It mainly improves the purity of ice attribute soul power. The more pure the soul power, the more powerful the moves will be, and it will also be easier to control. With this elixir, medicine, Shubinga will definitely be able to completely control Ice Phoenix Point. Just when he was happy, several disciples behind him were whispering again, discussing Prince Xiandao Zubeng's past behavior of bullying men and dominating women. This made Yang Wudi very depressed. For some reason, people kept discussing this in front of him recently. He was tired of hearing that the Xiandao Empire had such a prince with no bright future. Qibao is also very capable. Ning Fengzi let him inadvertently leak it to Yang Wudi, but he sent people to discuss it openly in front of him every day. This is because Yang Wudi's IQ is not enough. If it were replaced by someone else, it would have been long ago. I sensed something was wrong, because it was too deliberate, as if it was just to make him hate Zubeng Point. Not only that, Qibao also often said in front of Yang Wudi that, if he had a friend or granddaughter who was forced to marry someone like Zubeng, he would definitely go to the Xiandao Palace regardless of it, which is what any man with a little bit of talent should do. This was also instructed by Ning Fengzi. Yang Wudi had cultivated his mind and character over the years. Ning Fengzi was afraid that he would not have the same drive as before, and even more afraid that he would ignore this matter for the sake of the so-called overall situation. But now Ning Fengzi didn't want him to be so mature and wise. He just wanted Yang Wudi to make a fuss, and the bigger the fuss, the better. It would be best to demolish the entire Xiandao Palace and solve the avalanche at the same time. That would be perfect. After collecting the elixirs, Yang Wudi left the Qibao Glazed Sect and came to the hillside of Qibao Mountain. This was the place where he and Shubinga agreed to meet. However, he waited all day and did not see Shubinga coming up the mountain. It's strange. Miss Shu is always very punctual. Could it be that something happened? Yang Wudi was puzzled. Since Shubinga didn't come, he went directly to Xiandao City to find her. Yang Wudi has always been a person who does what he says, so he jumped halfway down the mountain without hesitation. This was a shortcut and the fastest way to go down the mountain. At this moment, a dark figure followed Yang Wudi sneakily, but it was Bone Douluo Gurang. He was secretly sent by Ning Fengzi to protect Yang Wudi because Tianlin had not yet come out of seclusion. It exceeded Ning Fengzi's expectation. The premise of his plan is that Tianlin completes the retreat and comes out. Otherwise, if Yang Wudi rushes like this, Yang Wudi will undoubtedly die. So we can only arrange the backup, that is Gurang. If Tianlin is too late to come out, at worst, let Gurang take action to save Yang Wudi at the critical moment. But in this way, the plan to conquer the Element Academy will be slightly delayed. As for Shubinga, Ning Fengzi couldn't do anything to help her. Maybe marrying Zubeng was her destined fate. In fact, Tianlin in the secret room can be released at any time because Xianmeng Ice Worm's request to increase the life of the god-given soul ring to more than 800,000 years has been achieved long ago, and now it is 999,000 years. 1999 years. In other words, Tianlin is breaking through the million-year mark. On the red soul ring with 9 golden patterns, the 10th golden pattern is looming, and the color of the soul ring is also gradually changing from red to dark gold bit by bit. Although the soul ring was jointly made by 6 gods, it was god Shura who condensed its shape, so the color is naturally similar to the color of Shura's divine power. Ziocean, it's almost done. It's almost done. Come on. Qianmeng Bingxi was very excited. He found that he still underestimated Tianlin. After the soul bone armor was activated, Tianlin's physical endurance was greatly improved again. Now he can actually withstand the second million-year soul ring. The million-year soul ring and the 900,000-year soul ring are completely different levels, which are enough to rival the existence of the divine ring. Once successful, he believes that Tianlin's level will not be the 91st level for the first time. The actual combat power is strong. Will reach an astonishing level. Uncle Xiaoshan is really powerful. His current strength has far surpassed Xiaobei, and may even be as good as his mother. Xiaobei now admires Tianlin extremely. After all, in the world of soul beasts, the strong are respected. Yang Wudi rushed from Qibao Mountain to Xiandao City in less than half an hour. With his contrast strength, he couldn't help but feel embarrassed at such a short distance. As soon as he arrived here, he was very confused. What kind of festival was today? Why were there lights and colorful decorations everywhere, and a character was posted on the door of each house? He found a young male disciple of the minimum clan who had been living in Xiandao City to collect intelligence and asked, "Hello, I'm Yang Wudi, the deputy master of the medicine hall. Boy, what the hell is going on here today? Is there a collective wedding in the city?" Deputy Hall Master, this is not a collective wedding, but the wedding of Prince Xiandao alone. The royal family has ordered the whole city to bless it. The disciple replied. The royal family issued an order, and the whole city congratulated him. What a great gesture. He should be marrying his real wife. Why? Zubeng has been bullying men and women for so many years, and now he wants to settle down. Yang Wudi smiled disdainfully, because Mr. Douluo he sent someone to speak ill of Zubeng in front of him, causing Yang Wuhu to have no favorable impression of Zubeng. So, who is the woman? Let me hear who is so unlucky to marry that guy. It's a girl named Qibao. I heard she's from Xianshu College. The minimum tribe disciple replied. Hearing this, Yang Wudi couldn't sit still, grabbed the disciple's collar and said angrily, "Who are you talking about? Qibao? That's nonsense. How could Miss Shu like someone like Zubeng?" The disciples of the minimum clan were frightened and trembled. Deputy Hall Master, please calm down. I will never deceive you. This is true. There have been rumors in the city before that Qibao and His Highness the Crown Prince are in love. It was she who took the initiative to let you know. The prince went to propose marriage, and she immediately agreed. Nonsense. Yang Wudi pushed the disciple away angrily. Miss Shu runs to Qibao Mountain every day to avoid avalanches. How can she be in love with him? This is someone deliberately spreading rumors. I understand. This is Zubeng's conspiracy to force Miss Shu to submit. Yang Wudi figured it out immediately. He was usually too lazy to use his brain, but as the leader of a clan, he would never be vague at critical moments. What? A despicable and shameless Prince Zubeng. I will kill you today. Yang Wudi summoned a soul-breaking gun and rushed towards the palace with murderous intent. He values friendship, and as he has been overstimulated by Douluo these days, he will never watch his friend fall into a pit of fire. Chapter 435. Yang Wudi makes a big fuss at the wedding banquet. Within the palace, if the blessings from the people outside are false and insincere, then the ones here are very sincere. Because those who appear here are all imperial nobles, Zubeng's policy is much better for them than Zuking's back then. It has greatly strengthened their rights and status, so they now support the prince from the bottom of their hearts. Your Highness, today is a day when His Royal Highness the Crown Prince takes his first wife. What does the Crown Prince's first wife represent? She is the future Empress of the Empire. Of course, she must be cured of. Congratulations, Your Highness the Crown Prince. I wish you and the Crown Princess a long and happy life. His Royal Highness, congratulations. Hearing the congratulations from the nobles, Zubeng was very proud. No matter how reserved Qibao was, she had not become her own yet. He understands Qibao's character very well. As long as he marries her, she will never betray her. In the future, Qibao will become one of his strongest combat forces. It's just a pity that he has chosen another powerful force. Still no one was seen. Zubeng found Taitan, who was already seated, and said, "Senior Taitan, is there still no news about Brother Tang and Uncle Tang Hao?" Tan shook his head heavily. No, the Empire and Haoshan sect sent people to search everywhere, but there was no trace of them. I'm worried that the young master and master may have been killed. No, Senior Taitan, Brother Tang has his own destiny, and Uncle Tang is the invincible Haoshan Douluo. Who can harm them? I believe they just have something important to do. Zhu Beng consoled him. He was also comforting himself, not that he really had a deep friendship for Tang San, but that in his future plans, the importance of the Tang family father and son was too high. The 5 elders of Haoshan sect, Zenshin Miangsha, the 7th elder, Liang Miangsha, and the leader of Yuxun, Tang Yuhe have arrived. At this moment, several heavyweights arrived, including 2 titled Douluo elders from the Haoshan sect, and Tang Yuhe, Tang Zio's sister, which was a great honor to Zhu Beng. Zhu Beng immediately greeted them. Zhu Beng saw me under the crown of the sky and the crown of the blazing sun. The presence of these 2 great masters really makes my Zhu family shine. It has to be said that Zhu Beng's face-saving work is extremely good. He just looks down on the common people, but towards the nobles and soul masters, he has always behaved like a polite and virtuous corporal. In fact, this is what the upper echelons of Douluo Continent should do, and it is also the main reason why Zhu Yi recognizes Zhu Beng more. What's the use of Zhu King's emphasis on civilians? Soul masters and nobles are the mainstream in this world. Well, hello, your highness. Are we the only ones here from the 3 upper sects now? Are there anyone from the 7 treasure, Glazed sect and the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family? Liang Douluo asked. A family elder has come from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, but no one from the 7 treasures, Glazed sect has arrived. I guess they look down on me. Zhu Beng pretended to laugh at himself. HMPH. Zenshin Douluo snorted coldly. Your highness, you don't have to worry about it. This 7 treasures Glazed sect has high eyes, disrespects the royal family internally, and treats Wuhan Palace like a defeated dog externally. It is still the new number 1 sect in the world. Well, I think such a powerful force will exterminate itself from the world sooner or later. After Wuhan Palace re-ranked the current 9 sects, the Haoshan sect was squeezed out by the 7 treasures Glazed sect. These 2 titled Douluo seemed to be very unhappy that the 7 treasures Glazed sect had usurped the Haoshan sect's position as the number 1 sect in the world. 5th elder, 7th elder, don't fall for Wuhan Palace's plan to sow discord. The reason why they are ranked like this is to provoke us to go to war with the Qibao Glazed sect. Tang Yuhe had a sharp gaze and saw through Wuhan Palace's plan. But Wuhan Palace's method is actually a conspiracy. If Haoshan sect ignores this matter, they will inevitably be rumored to be afraid of the 7 treasures Glazed sect. Even if Tang Zio can suppress these ill-tempered elders for a while, you can't suppress them for a lifetime. They will explode sooner or later. 3. Let's talk about these things later. The wedding is about to start. Please take a seat inside. Zhu Beng didn't want to talk about this on this big day. Anyway, he would have to deal with the 7 treasures Glazed sect sooner or later. Although his arm was healed by Tang San, the hatred of the broken arm would not disappear. Sooner or later, he would take revenge on Shenzhen Tianlin and his master and disciple. Not long after, all the guests arrived, and the auspicious moment had arrived. With Shujua's support, Shubinga slowly walked into the hall wearing light makeup and a red wedding dress. That stunning face and graceful figure made Zhu Beng feel passionate about her. Tonight, this stunning beauty was his Shubinga bit her lower lip tightly. For the sake of the Xiandao royal family's face, she couldn't let herself cry, and had to force his smile. Zhu Yi sat on the throne, looking at his son and daughter-in-law, feeling relieved. Although 3 of his sons died, fortunately, they still had successors to the Xiandao royal family. Below, Huo Wu, Zhu Wu and others were clenching their fists tightly. Their sisters were going to be forced to marry someone they didn't like, but they couldn't do anything. 7. Treasures Glazed sect, Yang Wudi has arrived. At this time, the eunuch's voice came from outside again. Everyone thought that the Qibao Glazed sect would not send anyone, but they did not expect that they still gave the Xiandao royal family a face. But they arrived late. Yang Wudi was rough but subtle. He did come to ruin the wedding, but he didn't force his way through the palace gate. Instead, he walked in openly in the name of congratulations, saving a lot of trouble. Seeing Yang Wudi, Taitan was overjoyed. Haha, old goat, it turns out that the Qibao Glazed sect sent you to congratulate me. Why are you here so late? You must punish yourself with 3 drinks later. We brothers haven't had a good drunken night in a long time. Yang Wudi glanced at Taitan. Old orangutan, I can't drink with you today. I'm not sent by the Qibao Glazed sect to congratulate him, but to kill him. The 5th soul skill. Break it. Yang Wudi instantly summoned the soul breaking spear and directly attacked Zubeng. His attack power was not inferior to that of a titled Douluo, and his attack was so sudden that most people could not react at all. After all, no one expected that someone would dare to kill the crown prince at his wedding. Zubeng looked at the spear that was less than 10 centimeters away from him and fell completely into despair. With his strength, there was no hope of surviving under the soul-breaking spear at this moment. A hammer suddenly appeared and smashed open the soul-breaking gun. It was Liang Douluo who took action. Even Contra could not react to the situation just now, but titled Douluo was in a completely different realm. Zubeng was so frightened that he was dripping with cold sweat and was almost forced to kneel to the ground by Yang Wudi's murderous intent. Zuyi was furious. Yang Wudi, you are so bold. You dare to attack our prince. Where is the royal knights? Capture this criminal and execute him. Countless royal knights rushed in immediately, as well as the 3 educational committee members of Xiandao Royal Academy, Marshal Jelong and others, and surrounded Yang Wudi. Yang Wudi looked at everyone with no fear. Back then, he even dared to fight against the Spirit Hall. How could he be afraid of the mere Xiandao Empire now? Even if the digital soul Douluo besiege him, they won't be able to defeat him for a while. The problem is that to titled Douluo of Haoshan sect. Since they had saved Zubeng just now, they would definitely take action. Yang Wudi believed that he was no match for them, so he had no choice but to fight tooth and nail today. At the same time, in the secret room of the Qibao Glazed sect's Qibao Hall, Tianlin slowly opened his eyes with a smile on his lips. After absorbing this soul ring for a whole month, he finally completed the last step. Yellow, purple, purple, black, black, red, 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 dark, gold. There are 9 soul rings surrounding the demon sword's blade. At this moment, the titled Douluo Jun Tianlin officially comes to the world. Chapter 436, titled Douluo Jun Tianlin. Boom. In the dark night, a shocking explosion attracted the attention of all the people in the city. Tianlin rushed out of the secret room from the roof and stood in the void. It's young Master Tianlin. Many people recognized Tianlin at a glance. Even though he had disappeared for 2.5 years, they would not forget the deputy sect leader who led the sect to become the largest sect in the world. Xiaoshan, you finally came out. Ning Fengzi was overjoyed. The timing for his son-in-law to come out was perfect. At this time, the wedding was probably at its climax, so it would be perfect for him to cause trouble. Tianlin looked at the people surrounding him below, smiled slightly, and his soul power exploded. 9 soul rings, 1 yellow, 2 purple, 2 black, 3 red, and 1 dark gold, spread out from his body. The huge soul power seemed to cover the entire Qibao Glazed sect. 9 soul rings. Master Tianlin, Deputy Sect Master, he has become a titled Douluo. The disciple below was excited and surprised. He could defeat a titled Douluo during the period of Tianlin Soul Saint, and now he has become a titled Douluo himself. Isn't it invincible? The little monster actually has a 9th soul ring. Qibao asked in shock. That's probably a god-given soul ring. No wonder he still hasn't come out even after breaking through. It turns out he's absorbing the soul ring, and that soul ring is on the same level as the first soul ring of his holy spirit orb. Haha, the dark gold color is really gorgeous and deep. Ning Fengzi smiled. Qibao and Yunyang looked at each other. Their soul rings were at the same level as Xian Mengai's silkworm. That was a 1,000,000-year level. The strength of a titled Douluo with a 100,000-year soul ring was far beyond that of an ordinary titled Douluo. Those 200 as for the 10,000-year-old titled Douluo, such as Qibao, Yin Yang, and the elders of Wuhan Hall, they might not even be able to catch Tianlin's sword now. Jun Xianhei and Mo Lan were also attracted by the noisy sounds outside. When they saw the overwhelming soul power emitting in the sky and Tianlin surrounding 9 soul rings, they covered themselves in disbelief. They knew that their son's talent was extraordinary and he might one day become a titled Douluo, but they didn't expect that this day would come so quickly. You know, Tianlin was only 20 years old. Proud. This word filled their hearts for a while. Tianlin opened Shura's eye of judgment and immediately saw the names of everyone in the sect. Most of them were in white, and a few were in yellow and cyan. The colors that judge good and evil are divided into 9 types: red, black, purple, yellow, white, green, blue, and gold. White is the color in the middle, which means that, although this person has not made any mistakes, he has not done anything good to benefit the country and the people. He is just an ordinary person living a normal life. Most people in the world have this color. Then downward represents the color of evil, and yellow represents that the person committed a small crime such as petty theft. This kind of crime can only be punished with a little lesson. The purple one must have killed people, and it was neither for self-protection nor out of desperation, but simply for its own benefit. The black one is a treacherous crime, which has harmed countless people, and deserved to die. The last red one represents the world-destroying demon, the most terrifying evil. Upward is the color of kindness. Cyan represents a small kind person who usually helps others and is kind-hearted. However, due to limited ability, he cannot help too many people. Green represents the chivalrous person who punishes rape and eliminates evil. Blue represents the person who has benefited one party and saved countless lives. The last gold corresponds to the red. The red represents the world-destroying devil, and the gold represents the savior hero. Tianlin smiled with satisfaction. The current atmosphere of their Qibao glazed sect is quite good. At most, it is yellow. If there is purple, it is Douluo. This guy acted willfully before joining the sect. To say that he did not do it because of himself, Tianlin didn't believe that he had killed people with his violent temper. However, his current color is also purple with a hint of yellow. I think in the past few years, due to self-cultivation and tempering, he has refined a lot of life-saving elixirs and helped many people, and it has gradually begun to decline. In addition, Ning Fengzi is cyan. In fact, judging from the amount of people he saves, he can at least be green, but a force cannot have a dark side. Unknown to Tianlin, Ning Fengzi must have done some vicious things, so that his merits and demerits are quite balanced, but fortunately he is still positive, which means that his merits still outweigh his faults. Before Tianlin came out, he looked at himself in the mirror. He was helpless. It was green. He used to follow Chen's into do chivalry. It was normal to have this color, but he turned green for no reason. What happened? This is very unpleasant. Tianlin has decided to either come down or go up. Anyway, he doesn't want to be green. At this time, Ning Fengzi shouted to Tianlin in the sky. Okay, Ocean, stop showing off. Come down. My father-in-law has something to tell you. Hey, father-in-law, didn't you yourself say that you should be as high profile as I come out of seclusion? Tianlin fell to the ground and said with a smile, it's enough to be high profile for a while. Now everyone in the city knows that you have broken through the title Douluo. That's enough. Hearing Ning Fengzi's words, Tianlin nodded. Okay, father-in-law, you just said you had something to tell me. What was it? I just came out. Has anything big happened on the mainland recently? A lot of big things happened. I will tell you slowly later. Let me tell you another thing first. You rushed to Xiandao Palace immediately. Ning Fengzi spent a few minutes telling Zhu Beng and Xu Bing'er about the matter. He met Tianlin, Yang Wudi and Xu Bing'er and became close friends. I'm afraid that trouble is happening in the Xiandao Palace at this time. After Tianlin listened, he roughly understood the whole story. Zhu Beng looked quite similar to himself. He also attracted many young geniuses to join the sect for the sake of the sect's development. Zhu Beng, on the other hand, wanted to get a big help from Xu Bing'er through marriage, and also use her line to completely conquer the Element Academy, just like how he used Tang Sun to cooperate with Haoshan sect. It's just that the strength of the Elemental Academy is far inferior to that of the Haoshan sect, so he acts more radically and unscrupulously. Haha. Let me just say that brother Zhu Beng and I are very destined. He is busy consolidating his position all day long, and I'm busy plotting to usurp the throne. We are very compatible. I haven't seen him for so many years, and I don't know how his health is. Didn't you miss me? I'll go see him now. Tianlin said with a smile. Deputy, sect leader, Let me take you there. I'm afraid Liao Yang has already started fighting with them. Bei seemed a little anxious. Although Gurong was secretly protecting him, he was still worried that something would happen to his best brother with his speed. He can reach the palace as quickly as possible. No need. Senior Bei, don't worry. I guarantee Senior Yang will be fine. Tianlin said confidently. Then he swung the magic sword and cut through the sky. But in an instant, he had disappeared from everyone's sight. What kind of speed is this? It's even faster than when I activated my martial soul's true form. Is this the strength of a titled Douluo? Bei said in horror. Haha, this is not titled Douluo level strength, but Ziotian strength. Ningfengzi laughed. Just from this speed, you can feel how terrifying Tianlin's strength is now. Well, he flew too fast. I didn't have time to ask him. He finally became a titled Douluo. What title is he going to take? It seems that we can only wait until he comes back. Then, let's help him think about it first. What do you think about Demon Sword Douluo or Spirit Pearl Douluo? Qibao said. Yang shook his head. No, he is a twin martial soul. Naturally, both martial souls should be involved. Pearl Sword Douluo, Spirit Sword Douluo or Holy Demon Douluo. It feels more appropriate. Several people returned to the main hall while discussing. It seemed that there would be a fierce debate later, but the final decision must still be made by Tianlin himself. Chapter 437 Yang Wudi and Shu Qingwu's Awakening. In the Xiandao Imperial Palace, Yang Wudi was still confronting everyone in the Xiandao Imperial Palace. Yang Wudi, what are you planning to do? How dare you kill His Highness the Crown Prince? If you don't give me an explanation today, you will die without a burial place. Meng Shenji asked. Although the three education committee members used to look down on Zhu Beng, now Zhu Beng is really the only heir to their Xiandao Empire. Meng Shenji is loyal to the royal family, and now they have no other choice but to be loyal to him wholeheartedly. There is nothing to explain. I just want to kill him. If any of you dare to stop me, I will kill him together. Yang Wubei was very confident in his own attack power. He wanted to kill a mere avalanche. Even if 3 education committee members came together, it may not be possible to stop him, but Yang Wudi himself is going to die. Your Majesty, Your Highness the Crown Prince, Meng Education Committee, please calm down. Shu Bing'er anxiously stood in front of everyone to prevent them from attacking Yang Wudi at all costs. Senior Yang is my friend. He must have misunderstood something. I immediately advised him he is gone. HMPH. Today is my happy day. For the sake of Ningfengzi and Bing'er, I can spare him once and ask him to get out of here immediately, otherwise I will let him die on the spot today. Zhu Beng was then beaten by the royal knights. Under the protection of the regiment and the 3 education committee members, the fear in his heart completely dissipated, and he became tougher in his speech. He really wanted to kill Yang Wudi who had offended him, but firstly, today was his wedding day, and it was not suitable to see blood. Secondly, he had to worry about the Qibao Glazed sect. As long as Yang Wudi stopped causing trouble, he could still be patient for a while. Thank you, Your Highness. Shu Bing bowed to Zhu Beng Yingying and turned back to Yang Wudi. Senior Yang, I know why you are here today. Go back. I voluntarily married His Highness the Crown Prince. Shu Bing said this, but everyone could see the misery on her expression. In fact, Yang Wudi fought all the way to the Xiandao Palace for her. She was very moved. The feeling was like the father's love she had not enjoyed for many years generally. So today, she absolutely cannot let this friend and father die here. Miss Shu, look in the mirror and see your expression now. It must be very painful to hold back from crying. It doesn't matter. When I kill Zhu Beng today, you will be free. Who is Yang Wudi, and where can he be? Because Shu Bing backed away with a single insincere remark. This guy never backed down from something he believed in. This was true for Wuhan Palace back then, and it is still true for Xiandao Empire now. HMPH. What a strong tone. Do you think you can kill the prince in front of us? Don't forget, you were just one of our dogs before. You just changed your master recently. Why, you have the support of a new master, and now we see you the original owner dared to bark. Liang Douluo stood in front of Zhu Beng and looked at Yang Wudi with disdain. Although Yang Wudi claims that his attack power exceeds that of a title Douluo, it depends on what kind of martial spirit the title Douluo is. For their clear sky hammer, the soul-breaking gun is nothing more than that. Just now, he easily defeated Yang Wudi with a hammer, which is the best proof. 7th Elder of the Haoshan sect, I know that I'm not your opponent, but you should understand my character, Yang Wudi. I'm different from a weak person like you who only bullies the weak and fears the strong. Even if there are thousands of enemies ahead, I will go ahead. Yang Wudi said domineeringly. You said I bully the weak and fear the strong? In order to fight against Wuhan Palace, my son died, and you still dare to say that I bully the weak and fear the strong? Being ridiculed by Yang Wudi made the 7th Elder, a titled Douluo, feel very embarrassed. Haha, a son died. Then do you know that when your Haoshan sect turned its back on our 4 major clans, how many of us died, and how many of my Pio clan died? More than 300 lives were lost. I destroyed the family. From the original big family of 400 people, there were only less than 100 old, weak, women and children left. When he said this, Yang Wudi's eyes were moist. So-called a man doesn't shed tears easily, but he hasn't reached the sad point yet. Even so, we never back down in the slightest. Let me tell you, Liang Douluo, in this world, I, Yang Wudi, am the most qualified person to say that your Haoshan sect is worthless. Yang Wudi's Raw made the 5th Elder and Tang Yuhe lower their heads. These two people still wanted to save face. They admitted that the Haoshan sect had indeed failed the Pio clan. Well said, old Yang. Bone Douluo nodded secretly. What he admired most about Yang Wudi was not his powerful attack power, but his courage to face powerful enemies, his loyalty to his friends, and his courage to die rather than surrender. No matter Tianlin appears today or not, he will not let Yang Wudi get hurt. There are shameless people everywhere. The 7th Elder who bullied a Soul King with the strength of a titled Douluo in the original work is one of the best. Yang Wudi's words not only did not make him feel guilty, but completely made him angry. That's nonsense. Yang Wudi, how dare you insult our Haoshan sect? I will punish you, the traitor of the Haoshan sect, on the spot today. The 7th Elder flew towards Yang Wudi and rushed towards Yang Wudi. He held the clear sky hammer in his hand and used his whole body to smash it down violently. He was a titled Douluo. Even if the spirit ring was not too strong, the development of the clear sky hammer was not as good as that of Tang Hao and Tang Zhao. So excellent, the weight of this hammer will not be less than 5,000 kilograms. Coupled with his own strength, one hammer can weigh 10,000 kilograms. Yang Wudi hurriedly raised the soul-breaking gun to resist, but his attack power was strong, and his strength was far inferior to the title Douluo. With a bang explosion, the handle of the soul-breaking gun bent down. Yang Wudi was pressed to the ground, half kneeling, and the jaws between his fingers were broken, and blood was oozing out. Under the blazing sun, please be merciful. Your Highness, please help me beg for mercy. I will never go back on my promise to marry you, and I will also persuade Senior Yang to leave. Shu Bing begged towards Zhu Beng. Yang Wudi roared angrily, Miss Shu, I don't ask them. I'm here today, just for my own will. If you are sacrificed to let me survive, then I will no longer be Yang Wudi. Suddenly, bursts of ice covered the clear sky hammer, and an ice phoenix flew in the palace. Everyone discovered that the wine in everyone's wine glasses was frozen into ice cubes at this moment, and the ice phoenix rushed towards the Liang Dao. Luo. When Liang Douluo saw this, he immediately gave up attacking Yang Wudi and hit the ice phoenix with a hammer, knocking it back. The ice phoenix turned into a human form and spit out a large mouthful of blood. It was a beautiful woman, Shu Qingwu, Shu Bing's mother. Shu Bing and Shu Jua raised their mother worriedly and asked, Mother, are you okay? Shu Qingwu shook her head. Mom, it's okay, Binger. I want to say sorry to you. As your mother, I watched you fall into the fire pit. Only then did I realize that I'm not as good as someone who knows you. Yang Wudi, who is only 2 years old, is really not worthy of being your mother. Mother, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. At this moment, Shu Bing's pretended strength completely dissipated, and she burst into tears for a while. Shu Qingwu caressed her daughter's hair smiled at her, then stood next to Yang Wudi and looked at Zhu Beng and said, Zhu Beng, it is impossible for my daughter to marry you today. You must give up on this idea, Zhu Beng. Zhu Crossing and Zhu Yi were completely gloomy. Yang Wudi's previous troubles had only caused some trouble for them, but Shu Qingwu's words made their royal family lose face. Prince Zhu Crossing was cold. He said, Shu Qingwu, you are seeking death. Do you know what will happen to you after you say this? Oh, Qingwu, why are you doing this? The two deans of Blazing Fire Academy and Divine Wind Academy shook their heads and sighed. Shu Qingwu's decision was really too impulsive. Shu Qingwu naturally knew the consequences of what she did, but she had done it, and would not regret it. I don't know what will happen to Dean Shu, but Prince Zuxing, do you know what will happen to you if you touch someone from my 7 treasures glazed sect? A majestic but somewhat careless voice echoed in the palace hall, directly striking the depths of the souls of everyone present. The weakling's spirits had begun to waver. The soul of Zhu Crossing, who was directly targeted, was almost shattered. I'm really sorry. The company has been too busy these days and I have used up all the manuscripts. Tomorrow weekend, I promise to practice hard in seclusion, and repay you the day after tomorrow. Chapter 438 Tianlin appears, and is titled Douluo in seconds. As this voice sounded, except for the Shu sisters, Shu Qingwu and Yang Wudi, everyone present was unable to move, as if they had a clear sky hammer on their shoulders. Even the two titled Douluo, it's very difficult to move. This sound seems to be directly suppressing our souls. Just now, Liang Douluo's hammer was more than 10,000 kilograms of force, but this person's voice alone exerted 10,000 kilograms of weight on everyone present. This cultivation level is so strong, it is simply astonishing. Meng Shenji struggled to support himself. He is a control type, and it is more difficult to resist this pressure than a power type contra. Those contras could still barely hold on, but the weaker ones, such as Zhu Beng, Prince Snowstar, etc., had been suppressed and fell to their knees. The person coming here is Sword Douluo. Your Majesty, please put down the fury of thunder for a while. Tang Yuhe asked with barely enough support under the protection of his 5th elder, Zenshin Douluo, who was in much better condition than Zhu Beng. Tang Yuhe thought it was Chen Xin who came here. After all, even her eldest brother Tang Zhao and second brother Tang Heo, the two strongest men in the Haotian sect, could not reach such a level. If anyone in the world could do it, Tang Yuhe only has 3 memories. One is Qin Dao Liu, the chief priest of Wuhan Palace. The other is Bo Saixi, the high priest of Poseidon Island whom her grandfather mentioned. And the last one is her grandfather Tang Chen. In other words, the person who came here has a power that is close to that of a limit Douluo, and there is only one new limit Douluo in this world, and that is Chen Xin, the Sword Douluo of the Qibao Glazed sect. In order to protect the people of his sect, it is normal for him to come here. In addition to his swordsmanship, Chen Xin is famous all over the world for his protection against shortcomings. Long time no see, Miss Tang Yuhe, the master of Yuxun. I'm sorry, my master is in retreat, so the one who comes is me. Suddenly, a sword light swept across, and the entire roof of the palace hall was instantly reduced to powder. A man with endless sword energy floating in the air floated in the air. Bebe Ocean's heart trembled. He knew who it was. The way he appeared was exactly the same as Chen Xin's back then. However, the person who was oppressed back then now has the power to suppress everything. Jun, Tianlin, Huo Wu, Feng Zai Ocean and others were shocked. In fact, they thought it was Chen Xin just now, but they didn't expect that it was Tianlin who had participated in the Continental Soul Master Academy competition with them. It had only been more than 6 years since that time, but his strength had already reached such a terrifying level. Tianlin landed slowly and stood in front of Yang Wudi and others. Deputy Sect Master, I'm sorry, it was me who caused trouble for the sect this time. Yang Wudi apologized. Although he did not regret what he had done, he would not deny his mistakes. 4. Standing up for one's friends. What is there to apologize for? Tianlin looked back at Yang Wudi. His bleeding hands made him frown. Senior Yang, who hurt you? It's that bad guy. Yang Wudi didn't answer, but the innocent Shujua couldn't help it, pointing at Liang Douluo and complaining. In her opinion, Since Tianlin is Yang Wudi's boss, she should stand up for him. Maybe those who think too much will consider the issue of interests. Tianlin should not offend the Haoshan sect for Yang Wudi's minor injuries, but this time, the simpler the person, the more likely he is to guess Tianlin's thoughts. Should Chua thought it's absolutely true, Tianlin will definitely seek justice for Yang Wudi. There is no need to consider any issues concerning the interests of the sect, as the overall situation is more important today. Don't worry, you two Shu girls. Please take good care of Senior Yang. Don't worry about anything else. Tianlin finished speaking with a smile and walked towards the crowd step by step, with the magic sword in hand. 9 yellow, purple, black, red, and dark gold soul rings are displayed one by one. Everyone's hearts trembled. Tianlin had indeed become a titled Douluo. A 20-year-old titled Douluo with this spirit ring configuration. Was he trying to defy heaven, fire, sun Douluo, right? I just want to answer Prince Snowstar's question just now, so I'll use you as material. Tianlin opened the evolved form of the god of killing domain, Shura Hell, and a murderous aura, so huge that it made one's heart palpitate, almost materialized, and the walls of the entire house were instantly covered with cracks. What do you want to do? Let me tell you, if you dare to touch me, Haoshan sect will not let you go. Liang Douluo swallowed subconsciously. As a titled Douluo, he can feel the strength gap between himself and Tianlin more clearly than others. Looking at Tianlin now, he has the feeling of seeing Tang Chen back then. You hit Senior Yang with one blow, and I will only hit you with one sword. Whether you live or die after that depends on your own ability. Tianlin released the murderous suppression of Liang Douluo, allowing him to act as he pleased to avoid being said to be invincible. Raising the magic sword, Tianlin swung the sword at will. The invisible sword energy and the murderous energy just merged into one, heading straight towards Liang Douluo. Haoshan protects the body. After all, Liang Douluo had title level strength. When he felt the danger, he used his defensive soul skills in time. Unfortunately, the shield transformed from the clear sky hammer was useless in front of Tianlin's current attack power. It was completely shattered in less than a second, and the sword energy streaked around Liang Douluo's body. In just one breath, Liang Douluo knelt on the ground. Zenshan Douluo and Tang Yuhua were shocked. They wanted to investigate, but they were still suppressed by Tianlin's murderous aura and couldn't move. They could only stand there, dry, anxious. Tianlin, stop it. Are you really going to go on a killing spree here? Haoshan ordered Tianlin. Seeing this short fat man, Tianlin sighed secretly. Haoshan was kind to him back then, and he had to give him face, so he took back all the pressure. Everyone seemed to be relieved at that moment. The feeling of being manipulated just now was really uncomfortable. 7th Elder Tang Yuhua and the 5th Elder, who had regained their freedom, hurried forward to check on Liang Douluo's injuries. 5th Elder, how is the 7th Elder? Tang Yuhua asked anxiously. Leo Key's body has no injuries at all on the surface, but I can feel that his body is collapsing. All the muscles and veins in his body seem to be disappearing little by little. If this continues, he will eventually become nothing more than a skin. An empty shell with all the flesh and blood in the body gone. Zenshan Douluo said with lingering fear, this sword technique is really too terrifying. Yes, it's the sword of destruction. Tianlin has practiced his master sword of destruction. Zhu Beng was deeply impressed by this sword. The feeling of his body disappearing bit by bit was a psychological shadow that could never be erased in his life. Tianlin, you are too cruel. Laoki only injured Yang Wudi, but you are so cruel to him. Zenshan Douluo was furious. Tianlin said calmly, it's really ridiculous. Did Liang Douluo show mercy just now with his blow? It's just that Senior Yang was strong enough to block it, otherwise he would have been smashed into pieces by your 7th brother. Now it's just a cycle of cause and effect. Liang Douluo is incompetent and cannot withstand my sword. If you want to seek justice for your 7th brother, then show your clear sky hammer. However, I advise you not to die. If you really want to take revenge, use the clear sky hammer. The 3 remaining elders of the sect, plus Tang Ziro, were summoned one by one. This behavior of the good boys to save grandpa is useless and annoying to me. It would be more refreshing for you and your family to go to the west together. So handsome. Hearing Tianlin's overbearing words, Shuchua began to act like an infomaniac again. He dared to say such words as making all the title Douluo of Haoshan sect, the former largest sect in the world, go to the west in order. No one dared to refute it yet. Tianlin's sword attack just now had already proved his strength. He instantly opened up Haoshan's body protecting Liang Douluo, which even Tang Xiao couldn't do in person. What a pity. When I participated in the college competition, this guy was still a little kid, which made me only obsessed with the more mature Damu Bei and Yu Xianheng. I should have discovered it earlier. With my ability, I would have dealt with this guy early. The potential stock has been won. Shuchua felt extremely unwilling in her heart. Looking at her sister's expression, Shubinga still didn't understand that her sister's nymphomaniac habit had happened again, and she didn't care what the occasion was. However, go ahead, because the feeling of despair that you felt when you were surrounded by two titled Douluo, several contrasts, and the Royal Knights has completely disappeared since this person appeared. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 439 Shubinga's determination to never marry Zubeng. Not knowing the random thoughts of the two sisters behind him, Tianlin looked at Zenshan Douluo, who was angry but did not dare to move, and said in a cold voice, "Why, don't you plan to take revenge? Then get out of here. You have nothing to do with Haoshan sect today." Tianlin, no, although I still don't know your current title, I should call you Man now. Man, I beg you to stop. If you are here to save Yang Wudi today, then you can take him with you now. If he leaves, no one here will stop you, but please don't hurt anyone again. Meng Shenji and the others tried their best to dissuade him. Tianlin was the proudest student of their Xiandao Royal Academy back then, and they really didn't want to be their enemy. Seeing these three people standing up, Tianlin put away his arrogance and said respectfully, "Three education committee members, you are Tianlin's elders. You also took good care of Tianlin in the past. You don't need to be so respectful. You still call me Tianlin. That's it. Since the three of you have spoken, I will not deny your face. However, today I not only want to take away Senior Yang, but also the purpose of his coming here, the Shu family's sisters, Dean Shu King Wu, and even all the elemental colleges. I will take away anyone who is willing to follow us. If you agree to this condition, I, Jun Tianlin, promise not to hurt anyone today, and I also ask the three education committee members to accommodate you." Seeing that Tianlin was still humble to them, Meng Shenji and the other three were greatly comforted. Although this child had become the supreme title Douluo, he had not changed. He could be as arrogant as he wanted towards his enemies, but towards those who had helped him, friends, but still treat each other with courtesy. Alas, Tianlin, do you know that the news of Shubinga becoming the crown prince of my Xiandao royal family has spread throughout the entire continent? If you take her away now, the Xiandao empire will lose its face. And you let her, how should his royal highness behave? Meng Shenji asked in distress. Face? Do you have to sacrifice a girl's life for this kind of thing? Education committee, I don't believe you don't know what kind of person Zubeng is. There were rumors that he and Shubinga were in love. In fact, you must be well aware of what the situation is. This is a conspiracy. Because Shubinga's family is living under someone else's roof, he concluded that they would not dare to break up with the Xiandao royal family, so he deliberately sent people to spread rumors, to force Shubinga to agree to this engagement. Tianlin, he decisively tore off the fig leaf of the Xiandao royal family. Although things like Yang Mao are powerful, he is afraid that some idiots who don't care about his life will tear him apart directly. However, Tianlin is still tyrannical and strong, so they can't do anything to him. The three education committee members all lowered their heads. How could they not know the truth? Unlike Zubeng Zhu Crossing, they were shameless and could not say anything to refute Tianlin now. Jun. Tianlin, you are talking nonsense. Binga and I are destined to be together for 3 lifetimes, and she did it voluntarily. Zubeng immediately roared back. He must not compromise today. If Shubinga is taken away in this situation, how could he have the face to fight against the Prince of the Empire? Tianlin looked at Zhu Beng, opened the Eye of Judgment, and saw two large black characters floating above Zhu Beng's head. Point Black is a level of evil second only to the red world destroying demon. When Zhu Beng was pretending to be a playboy, he bullied men and dominated women. Now he has become the prince. He first vetoed all of Zhu King's original policies and promulgated new policies. They are all on the side of the nobles. Countless people have been displaced and bullied by the nobles because of him. It is fitting that he has such a bad reputation. This man deserves to die. At this moment, Shubinga ran to Tianlin and bowed to him. Ying, Your Majesty, please stop fighting. This is your second time to save Binga, although this time you are here for Senior Yang. It's just a way to save Binga, but Binga is still very grateful to you in her heart. But Binga is really not worthy of you starting a war with the Xiandao Empire. You should take Senior Yang and leave as soon as possible. The second time, Tianlin was stunned. He had saved her before. Seeing Tianlin's appearance, Shubinga's eyes darkened. It seemed that he had forgotten that he was the one who saved him from Ziyu in the college competition. At this time, Tianlin noticed that Shubinga's name was actually Blue. How many people had this girl helped in her life? Shubinga seemed a little embarrassed to be stared at by Tianlin, but Shujua was unhappy. Hey, Your Majesty, it's rude to stare at my sister like this. I'm also very beautiful, why don't you look at me? Jua, whose name is Green, seems to have done good things along with her sister, but her personality is a little out of touch. Tianlin smiled calmly. I'm rude. You are also a kind little beauty. Got. Lord Shura judges, and judgment not only punishes evil, but also promotes good. Based on what Shubinga did, she shouldn't be insulted by Zhu Beng. Binga, you are wrong. I'm helping you, not because of Senior Yang, but because of the 3 words Shubinga. This is my responsibility. Although Tianlin has not yet inherited the Shura God, he must also start to take on the responsibility. It's time for an obligation, isn't this brat trying to flirt with a girl? I want to write it down and complain to his parents later, so that he won't let Rangrang feel sorry for him. Gurang in the dark said unhappily. He just wanted to help the girl because of herself. Isn't that right? Is it just flirting with girls? He can no longer defeat Tianlin, but there are still 2 people in this world who cannot be defeated, even if Tianlin becomes a god, and that is Jun Xianhei and Mo Lan. He will report them when he gets back. Jun. Tianlin, you already have Ning Rangrong, and you still come to seduce my wife. It's too much. It was obvious that not only Gurong, but others also misunderstood, especially Zhu Beng, who was already angry at this moment. The 7 orifices are filled with smoke. Tianlin didn't bother to explain to this guy. It would be best to be furious. Binga, I just want to ask you one thing now. Are you willing to marry Zhu Beng? If so, I will turn around and leave. If not, then stand behind me. Your family and friends, my Qibao glazed sect, take them all, and make sure no one can hurt them. Tianlin looked at Shubinga seriously, hoping to get a firm answer from her heart. Shubinga was a little hesitant, not sure whether she should speak her mind. Seeing that Shubinga was still hesitating, Shujua urged anxiously, Sister, what are you still thinking about? I don't want to stay in this hellish place. I'm just hanging out with others anyway, so why not follow this handsome crown prince? Brother, I don't want to call Zhu Beng that wretched male brother-in-law. Brother Myangsha? What kind of strange name is this? Rangrong is the same way. Don't you little beauties know how to call people by their names normally? Also, Shujua, I seem to be 1 year younger than you, right? Aren't you only 1 year younger than your sister? Tianlin said helplessly. Shujua tapped her lips with her finger. Is that my younger brother? It seems weird. Alas, your majesty's younger brother is really troublesome. Although he is super strong, he still has the character of a child. Looking at the 2 people who were starting to lose their temper again, Shubinga burst into laughter. This scene, which was like a fight between brothers and sisters, made the haze in her heart disappear. She saw clearly in her heart the period of her life in the Xiandao Empire. Time was too depressing, and what she really wanted was such a relaxed life. No longer hesitating at the moment, he turned around and said loudly to everyone, I have never liked Prince Zubeng. The rumors that he and I were in love were all rumors. The purpose was to force me to commit the crime. Zuxing the prince even sent the royal knights to surround my home for a whole month. Today, I ask everyone present to bear witness to me that I, Shubinger, will never marry Zubeng. Chapter 440. Suppress the whole audience. I, Shubinger, swear never to marry Zubeng. Binger's voice of exerting her soul power continued to echo throughout the Xiandao Palace, and even the people on the streets outside the palace could hear it clearly. It was interesting now. The wife of His Highness the Crown Prince actually chose to regret her marriage at the wedding. I wonder if the Crown Prince would have the nerve to come out to meet people in the future. Countless people laughed in gloating laughter in their hearts. Binger, are you bold? Do you really think that my son likes you, so I won't kill you? Emperor Zuyi, who had been sitting on the throne of the emperor, really couldn't sit still this time. Tianlin overturned the roof of the palace. He could bear it. At worst, he could just repair it. He could also bear it when he deposed an elder of the Haotian sect. Anyway, the title Douluo was not affiliated with the royal family. But now Shubinger is in public. He couldn't bear it anymore. If he could bear this, I'm afraid that Emperor Xingluo would laugh at him and keep his mouth shut for 3 days and 3 nights. Old man, what are you yelling at? You want to kill me, but can you kill me? Tianlin stood in front of Shubinger. Just because you allowed your son to frame Shubinger, you can be called a dog. Emperor, if you want to fight, I, Jun Tianlin, will accompany you to the end and see if your army of millions, which you are proud of, can kill me. But you must be mentally prepared. In the end, I may destroy your hundreds of millions. The army of 10,000 has been slaughtered to death. You. Emperor Zui was so angry at Tianlin that he pointed at his nose and scolded the old man, the dog emperor, which even Ning Fengxi and Shenzhen had never done. You traitor and traitor, you have insulted my majesty and you will die. A figure couldn't bear it any longer and jumped out from the crowd. It was none other than the leader of the generals of the Xiandao Empire, Marshal Jialong, who was also very powerful. 16th level contract. Go away. Tianlin slapped Jialong with a slap, and the huge soul power directly slapped Jialong away. Jialong flew back faster than when he came, and after breaking several golden pillars, he was buried in a field. Under the ruins. Contract is very strong for others, but to the current Tianlin, it really doesn't have much fighting power just now. Tianlin didn't use all his strength. Jialong would not die, but he would have to lie in bed for several months. Tianlin, don't be rude to your majesty. Even the 3 education committee members were really angry this time. The 3 superior martial spirits of Xian Qingteng, Chiang Xinglu and Black Demon were accompanied by 2 yellow, 3 purple, 3 black and 8 pieces each. The soul ring appears. Baby Ocean said sadly. Tianlin, why are you like this? Falling out with the Xiandao Empire. What good will it do to your Qibao glazed sect? Don't forget that the Wuhan Palace is your enemy. Listen to the advice of the education committee, and don't regardless of this matter, with your current strength, no one can stop you from leaving. Education committee, you once taught me a lesson. Soul Master should not just look at the benefits when doing things. There are some things that are more important than benefits, which are justice and faith. Tianlin retorted, this is also the prince you once recognized. His Highness taught you. Why, now that the prince has changed, have you given back to him everything I, Brother Zhu, taught you? King is indeed a good prince that we recognize. If he is the real prince, he will definitely lead the Xiandao Empire to prosperity. It's a pity. Meng Shenji said in a low voice. Oh, you are right. Soul Masters can't just do things based on the benefits, and we will no longer advise you. But I'm sorry, we also have our position, and we must stop you from taking away the crown princess today. Tianlin understands this. You still recognize Brother Zhu. I believe that if she knows, she will be very happy. No matter what the result is today, I will not hurt the 3 education committee members. Therefore, I can only ask the 3 of you to sleep first. It's been a while. After Tianlin finished speaking, his figure flashed. Just hearing 2 bang bang sounds, Bebe Ocean and Celine were hit in the abdomen and fell to the ground unconscious upon seeing this. Meng Shenji's 7th soul ring flashed, and he immediately prepared to activate his martial soul's true form. But at this moment Tianlin had appeared invisible behind him and hit him on the back of the neck with a hand knife point in an instant. Meng Shenji's martial soul true body and soul ring dissipated at the same time and fell to the ground with a plop. Sorry, Tianlin had no choice but to go to the 3 education committee members. After this incident, Tianlin will go to Xiandao Royal Academy in person to apologize to the 3 of them. Tianlin apologized in a low voice point at this time. Huo Wu, Feng Zai Ocean and their 2 deans at the Element Academy were all horrified to the extreme point since Tianlin appeared. He killed Liang Douluo with 1 sword and slapped Marshal Fei Jelling. Now he knocked out the 3 strongest teaching committee members of Xiandao Royal Academy in one breath. But he himself has not even a soul yet. None of the skills have been used. Point strong. Simply unreasonable strong. This seemed to allow them to see the power of Xuangayu in the Soul Master world. To suppress the world point, the 2 deans of Blazing Fire Academy and Divine Wind Academy looked at each other, and they quickly understood each other's thoughts from their respective eyes. It seems that today, they will line up again. Hey, old man, do you have anything else to say? If not, I will take you away. Tianlin picked up the magic sword, pointed at Emperor Zuai's nose and cursed. Wait a minute, Zhang Tianlin, even though your strength is no longer what it used to be, you just said that soul masters also need to have justice and faith when doing things. What about your justice and faith? Emperor Zuai was stunned. He definitely couldn't beat Tianlin, so he had no choice but to reason with him. You just believed Xu Bing's words. What's the point? Now I suspect that the truth is that she deceived my son's feelings and deliberately provoked conflicts between your clan and our country. Yes, that's right, Zhang Tianlin, I swear, she said before that marrying me was absolutely voluntary, and now she suddenly changed her words. She is sowing discord. Zhu Beng seemed to have found a life-saving straw, and the father was indeed the father. Much more cunning and calculating than him. This matter was originally a matter of public opinion and mother-in-law's opinion, and neither side had evidence. Now Zhu Beng only had to insist that Xu Bing was cheating on his feelings, and then he would change from a perpetrator to a victim. There will definitely be some loss of face, but overall, there should be more sympathy than ridicule. As Zhu Beng's status is much higher than that of Xu Bing. As long as more people believe in him, all the lies can become true. Maybe in the end Tianlin will get someone who doesn't know people well and is deceived by Xu Bing's beauty. Negative comment. You are shameless. Xu was about to burst into tears. Isn't this just telling lies? Who said I just believed Xu Bing's words? I have witnesses to prove that Zhu Beng's words were lies. Tianlin said with a smile. Zhu Beng was stunned. Witness? This method was originally discussed between him and one of his subordinates, who was his confidant and could not betray him. Thinking of this, Zhu Beng felt relieved and asked, Zhang Tianlin, where is your witness? Tianlin pointed back at himself. That's me. When Zhu Beng made this plan, I heard it with my own ears. It was at Xiandao Royal Academy. Time, around early morning. Place, yes, it was that swan in front of the statue. Zhu Beng was stunned. What Zhang Tianlin said was true. Although he did make this plan at Xiandao Royal Academy, the time was in the evening, and the location was also the door of the dormitory. The swan statue was a ghost. Yang Wudi was also stunned. Deputy sect leader, weren't you in retreat at the time? You could hear Zhu Beng's plan. Shun Feng. When Zhu Beng saw Tianlin's half-smiling face, he fully realized that this guy, like him, was actually telling lies with his eyes open. He is the prince, but Tianlin is a titled Douluo, with the same status as an emperor. What he says may be more credible than himself in the eyes of outsiders. Chapter 441 Holy Demon Douluo. Zhu Beng is a man who attaches great importance to class status. The series of policies he promulgates implicitly include the theory that the nobility is not at fault. If there is a dispute between the nobility and the common people, it is basically the common people's fault. There's only one way a noble can go wrong, and that's if they mess with a large noble. This is easily exploited by others, such as Chen Xin back then, and Tianlin now. They are titled Douluo, so everything they say is right. Zhu Beng, with me as a witness here, what else do you have to say? Tianlin asked, don't deny it. Could it be that I, the great titled Douluo, will frame you? That's right, just admit it. As a titled Douluo, my brother will not tell lies like you. Moreover, I was also present at the time and happened to have a private meeting with my brother, so I'm also a witness. Shuyu watched Zhu Beng, who looked ugly and continued to fight against the fire. This was her favorite thing to do. Tianlin, who had a head full of black lines, lifted the collar of her neck and swung it back. I'm telling you, if you haven't done well in the cultural class, why don't you come and help me? I have a family, and the word private meeting is the same as it's almost an affair. It's my reputation that's been lost. Let's go. Oops. Shujua flew back and just fell into her mother's arms. She felt that her kindness was not rewarded, and she was so wronged to death. You, stay with your mother, and don't cause trouble for me, Shu Qingwu said helplessly. Although Shujua was not her biological daughter, she had loved her as her own daughter for so many years. Shu Bing's meticulous care for her sister seemed to be a bit too much. Your Majesty is right, and we can also testify that, in order to cover up the truth, Prince Snowstar also sent people to warn us, threatening us with college students not to meddle in our own business. At this moment, Kamikaze Academy and Blazing Fire, the two deans of the college, made the final selection point, because they knew very well that, because of Shu Qingwu's trouble, the Xiandao Empire had already hated all the elemental colleges. Rather than being settled by them, they would rather follow Tianlin. Didn't Tianlin just say that anyone who voluntarily he took all the ones that followed Shu Qingwu? Thank you. Shu Qingwu thanked the two in a low voice. In fact, she had never hated the two deans. They had chosen to compromise before, but it was for the sake of hundreds of students in their own college. She had to do this. She could understand them. Now that they have stood up to help her, no matter what their reasons are, they have helped, and Shu Qingwu will remember it in her heart. Sorry, Miss Qingwu, I didn't stand up before. Seeing her like this, the two deans felt guilty in their hearts. Next, you and your two virtuous nieces will stand behind us, and I will see who dares to touch you. It should have been like this. Huo Wu, Zhu Wu, Feng Xiaoshan and others held back their anger. Seeing that their dean had already stood in line, they didn't need to hesitate anymore. Brother Jun, please let me help you. Although I know that I'm no longer qualified to fight alongside you, we are at the same time. It should be no problem for me to help you deal with a few soldiers. Feng Xiaoshan stood by Tianlin's side. The two-headed wolf of Gale Wind was already possessing him. Then, Brother Feng, if there is a fight, these royal knights will be left to you, Tianlin said with a smile. However, they may not have the courage to fight now. Tianlin looked at Zhu Yi's avalanche and Zhu Crossing's three people. Even if they were not frightened, they definitely had great fear of Tianlin. There were millions of troops on the snowy night, but not all of them were in Xiandao City. Most of them were stationed at the border. There were only more than 100,000 Imperial Guards in Xiandao City. But looking at Tianlin's current strength, I'm afraid he can kill all these hundreds of thousands of people by himself. Using high-end combat power to surround and kill him is even more of a joke. So far, 1 title Douluo and 4 contra Douluo have fallen. In front of Tianlin, Zhu Yi simply couldn't bring out enough high-end combat power to face Tianlin. So just as Tianlin guessed, he didn't dare to fight and had to find an excuse to stop the war. Jun. Tianlin, after hearing your and Zhu Beng's explanation, I already understand that this matter is actually a misunderstanding. Shu Binger has never rejected my son directly, so my son mistakenly thought that Shu Binger also liked him. Someone would be sent to spread such news, and Shu Binger mistakenly thought that Zhu Beng was threatening her, so she had to agree. In fact, both parties just need to talk it out, Zhu Yi said. The old man hoped that both sides would take a step back. That is, both Shu Binger and Zhu Beng were right, but they just misunderstood the other party's thoughts. Seeing this, Tianlin smiled calmly. Okay, for the sake of the 3 education committee members, I have already promised that, as long as I take people away, I will not kill anyone. Let's just treat it as a misunderstanding. In that case, then this wedding, of course it's cancelled. Our Xiandao Empire is fair and strict, and there will never be any forced marriage. Emperor Zhuai was obviously angry and vomiting blood in his heart, but facing Tianlin now, he had to compromise. This is a world where strength is respected and the pressure brought by the strong. Very good. In that case, I will also take away the other members of the Elemental Academy. Your Xiandao Empire is so fair. Since you won't force marriage, then naturally you won't restrict personal freedom, right, Jun? Tianlin, don't push yourself too far. Zhu Beng was forced to panic. He tried his best to get Qibao, not only for her own sake, but also to completely conquer all the masters of the Academy of Element. The result was that he lost his wife and soldiers, and all the benefits were cut off by Tianlin. How could he bear this? Well, Your Majesty Tianlin, we can understand that you only took one person away, but the Element Academy has been living in our Xiandao Royal Academy for more than a year. It's not appropriate for you to take them away rashly. In order to benefit them, our Xiandao Empire also pays a lot for the living and learning environment. Prince Zuxing said, and what he said is true. Feeding so many people is indeed a big expense, and the Element College does owe it to this point. A favor from Xiandao Royal Academy. Tianlin sneered when he heard this. You are right, but Qibao led your Xiandao Royal Academy to win the second place in the Soul Master competition, which is considered repayment, even if you don't take this feeling to your heart. But I want to ask you, are you withdrawing money from me? Zuxing was stunned for a moment. He realized that he had made the biggest mistake, raising money with the Qibao Glazed sect. This sect, which is already the richest, has been doing nothing in the past few years, just making money continuously. Mintang sells information, Medicine Hall sells medicines, Liantang sells weapons, and Zentang Midang accepts employment to assist soul masters. When it comes to hunting soul rings, it can be said that the current Qibao Glazed sect's small treasury is probably even fuller than their treasury. Zhu Crossing, the School of Elements spent your Xiandao Empire's money this year, and my sect paid for it. What else do you have to say? Tianlin asked with murderous intent. No, more. Zuxing was known to be a bully and shy of the strong. Being so frightened by Tianlin, he completely lost his usual majesty as a prince. Then, Your Majesty, Your Highness the Crown Prince, I'm gone. You can continue with the wedding, but the bride is gone. Ha ha ha. Tianlin mocked wantonly. Wait a minute, Jun Tianlin. Just as he was about to lead everyone away, an angry female voice stopped him. It was Tang Yuhe, the leader of Yuxun. Kill the 7th elder of my sect, and wait until I get back. If you report this to my brother, I will seek justice from you. Whatever, you can come to me at any time. Haha, take the opportunity to settle the matter with me along with Tang Xin and Tang Heo. I'll be waiting. Tianlin no longer intends to hide the information about the death of the father and son. He is not afraid of anyone now. Even if Tang Chen returns, he may not be able to defeat him. Tang Yuhe was shocked. Hearing what Tianlin meant, could the disappearance of her second brother and nephew be related to him? Tianlin smiled slightly and said, by the way, in order to prevent you from finding the wrong person, I will decide my title right here. My martial soul is the Holy Spirit bead and the demon suppressing sword. In this case, I will take a title from each. Listen, I, Jun Tianlin, will be the Holy Demon Douluo from now on. Remember everything clearly for me. Don't get the wrong target of revenge in the future. Chapter 442 Tianlin's level conquering the Elemental Academy. Tianlin took Yang Wudi and everyone from the Element Academy and left in a swaggering manner. Emperor Zhu Yi, Prince Zhu Crossing, and Prince Zhu Beng all dared to be angry, but dare not speak out. Watching their departing figures, the master who had been hiding in the crowd popped up and gave his final speech on the incident. Holy Demon Douluo Jun Tianlin. With the rise of this extremely powerful new title Douluo, the mainland, the situation is going to be completely changed. After leaving the palace, Tianlin first took the 3 deans to Xiandao Royal Academy in order to take away their students. Unfortunately, many students had been completely spoiled by the atmosphere of Xiandao Royal Academy and were unwilling to leave. After all, I had to study hard in the academy before, but here, as long as I'm attached to a certain noble and eat well and drink spicy food every day, there is no need to work so hard. Although the 3 deans felt sad for these students, they had nothing to do. After all, this was their freedom point. As a result, there were less than 100 people from the 3 colleges combined who were willing to follow them. Point for Tianlin. This was enough. He would rather have a good student who practiced hard than a dog of 100 vain aristocratic children. Point he already understood Ningfeng's his idea of establishing a college in the future. Point a college that does not care about government affairs and only aims to teach outstanding students is of great significance to the development of the mainland. No matter how outstanding people are, they need to be taught, not only to teach them to practice and fight, but also to teach them how to be a good soul. Division point. Since Tianlin came to this continent, the 4 people who have taught him the most are Ningfengzi, Qinrixu, Chenzin and Qinming. Point Chenzin taught him swordsmanship and fighting. Qinming taught him how to cooperate with his brothers. Ningfengzi taught him how to use his wisdom. And Qinrixu taught him that the code of conduct of a soul master must be based on 2 words, law and virtue. Point. Although many of these Tianlin had learned in the 9-year compulsory education in his previous life, not everyone has memories of his previous life. Therefore, if the mainland wants to develop, someone must pass on these things from generation to generation. Then we need a college that can stand on the mainland for tens of millions of years, just like Shrek College in the later generations of the original book. Point Tianlin admitted that the early school training of Shrek Academy was not good, but tens of thousands of years later, the Academy's contribution to the mainland will definitely be huge, and this cannot be denied. Point on the way back, Tianlin informed the 3 deans of this idea. The 3 deans immediately fell into deep visions of the future. As teachers, if they could establish a college and pass on the knowledge of the entire continent, it would undoubtedly be a great success. It is the most glorious thing. Great, Your Majesty Tianlin. This college must be built as soon as possible, and then I will transfer to another school and become the first batch of graduates of this college. Shujua's eyes were filled with little stars. She will definitely be famous by then. Leave a lasting legacy, Jua. Now it's time to call the Holy Demon Man. I've already decided on my title. You can't be as rude as before. Shu Qingwu taught him a lesson. It was okay if Tianlin didn't decide on the title before. Now that he has decided on it, if so, then you must use the honorific title. This is an honor only reserved for title Douluo. What? Does it matter? I don't think the Holy Demon Crown has any heirs at all. Shujua pouted and said dissatisfiedly, but she did not dare to continue to be presumptuous. What she was most afraid of was her strict mother. Tianlin did not refute Shu Qingwu this time. In fact, he didn't care how others called him. It didn't matter if he called him by his name directly. However, Shujua's other names were a bit strange. For such weird names, he had a Rangrang. It's enough. It's better for others to be normal. By the way, Your Majesty the Holy Demon Crown, please forgive Zyroshan for being presumptuous. Can you tell me your current level? Feng Zyroshan asked. He had always set Tianlin as his ultimate goal in the past, even though he now knows that he can't catch up. But I also want to know how big the gap is between the 2 sides. Tianlin replied, at level 94, my 9th soul ring is more powerful than the ordinary one, so after absorbing it, the level increased in one breath. Now I'm only one step away from becoming a super Douluo. When he first entered the title, he started at level 94. Everyone was shocked again. Now, the Qibao Glazed sect is really no longer afraid of the Wuhan Palace. This is also true. Although Wuhan Palace has 2 ultimate Douluo combat powers, Kaiandao Liu and Bibidong, the same goes for their 7 treasures. Glazed sect. In a head-to-head fight alone, Tianlin no longer showed any fear of either of the 2. Of course, it would still be difficult to defeat them, because the gap in soul power was really not small. Extreme Douluo's soul power was several times deeper than his. If he couldn't defeat them quickly, he would be at a disadvantage once a protracted battle broke out. Perhaps, after summoning the 2 gods, he could even suppress them for a short time, but the 2 gods consumed their soul power too quickly. As long as those 2 people used delaying tactics, Tianlin would still be passive. However, the difference is only in the depth of his soul power. At least if he really fights, he will not be at the slightest disadvantage, even if he fights for several days and nights. Moreover, Tianlin also has a 9th soul skill. A million-year soul ring should bring 4 soul skills, but Tianlin only has 1. This means that the 4 soul skills are fused into one, giving birth to the strongest skill point naturally. It is the Heaven and Earth Yuanling slash that completely integrates the 5 attributes of water, fire, wind, thunder, and earth. With the help of the god-given soul ring, the attributes within the body of the Tianlin demon sword have now been fully harmonized. Even Tianlin himself could not estimate the attack power of this Heaven and Earth Yuanling slash. He only knew that, if he had just used this move in the palace, then without anyone to resist, not only the palace, but also Xiandao city and the entire city would be attacked. The Xiandao Royal Academy outside, as well as within a few hundred miles, will become a place of death with no survivors soon after. Tianlin led everyone back to the sect. Ning Fengzi had been waiting here for a long time. His formalism had always been very good. Although he was a titled Douluo, he always treated talents with the attitude of a virtuous corporal. After all, Zhu Beng understands the truth. How could he not understand it? The 3 deans were extremely grateful to be greeted personally by the head of the sect. Ning Fengzi asked Tianlin to take the people from the Academy of Element down to rest first, while he listened to Gurang, who showed up, and told him everything that happened in the palace. Avalanches and snowstars didn't kill anyone on a snowy night. What a pity. After hearing what happened, Ning Fengzi felt a little pity. He hoped that the bigger the trouble, the better, but Tianlin still values feelings. Those 3 education committee members were in the college back then. She had always taken good care of him. With Tianlin's character, as long as a few of them begged for mercy, he would definitely give them some face. Fortunately, Tianlin killed the elders of the Haotian sect and snatched away the crown princess of the Xiandao Empire, which can be regarded as a complete break with these 2 major forces. The next step is to wait for what action Wuhan Palace will take. After learning the news, Wuhan Palace is now powerful enough to establish a nation. The original work did this within 3 months after the re-election meeting of the 7 major sects. The reason why it has been delayed now is because of the fear of the combined strength of the 3 sects and the 2 empires. Now that Ning Fengzi deliberately caused his own family, the strongest Qibao glazed sect, to fall out with the 2 empires, he must have given them an excellent opportunity. On the other side, Tianlin sent people from the Academy of Element to the wing and then left. Miss Xu, please stay. Yang Wudi suddenly called Xu Bing'er, Senior. Yang, why did you come out? You are still injured. Didn't His Majesty the Holy Demon Crown arrange for you to rest earlier? Xu Bing'er hurriedly went to help Yang Wudi sit on the stone chair. The biggest reason why she was saved today was naturally Tianlin, but Yang Wudi was the fundamental reason for Tianlin's action, so Xu Bing'er was very grateful to Yang Wudi. This little injury is nothing. I forgot one thing. Here is the snow spirit pill I promised you. Yang Wudi took out a small wooden box from his arms. After opening it, there was a cold pill inside. The circulating treasure. Xu Bing'er took the elixir. Unexpectedly, Yang Wudi could still remember this little thing. The tears he had been holding back since the beginning of the wedding finally couldn't help but flow down. But this time it was not sadness tears, but tears of joy. Senior. Yang, Bing'er can't repay your great kindness to Bing'er. Bing'er's father no longer wants Bing'er, but your appearance, Senior, seems to make Bing'er feel the father's love that she has never had before. Xu Bing'er suddenly said, Senior, if you don't give up, Xu Bing'er is willing to recognize you as her father and be filial to you throughout her life. Of course it would be great to have a daughter like you, but I have never been a father, and I don't know if I can be a good father. Yang Wudi rubbed his head and said in distress. Seeing this, Xu Bing'er smiled tenderly. It doesn't matter if Senior doesn't know how to be a father. As long as Bing'er knows how to be a daughter, I think being filial to your father and being filial to your mother should be about the same. Bei, he, who was observing in the dark because he was worried about his old friend, smiled slightly. Unexpectedly, Zhu Beng did a good thing. He not only found a well-behaved and beautiful daughter for the old goat, but also made up for Xu Bing'er's fatherly love like a mountain. Chapter 443. Next target. The next day, in just one night, the news that Tianlin made a big fuss at the wedding banquet of the crown prince of the Xiandao Empire and forcibly took away the crown princess spread throughout the entire continent. Sure enough, good things don't go out, but bad things spread thousands of miles. This avalanche was quite embarrassing. Although Emperor Zuyi finally found an excuse for a misunderstanding, everyone could see that Shubinga was completely the victim point. It was not a big deal for Zubeng to use his power to force Shubinga. Similar things were done among the nobles, but he was very unlucky. He happened to meet Jun Tianlin, who had not dealt with him all his life and just happened to break through. The result was a tragic ending of losing both his wife and his troops in the Qibao Glazed sect. Tianlin welcomed Zhaoxia to finish his training. He rushed to the Xiandao palace as soon as he broke through yesterday. He didn't have time to sort out the skyrocketing soul power in his body. Now, after a night of meditation, he has basically stabilized himself. Zhaoxia, my account has finally been banned. This way, we will have a much easier time doing things in the future. Qian Meng Bingxi said with a smile. It is very comfortable now. With Xianlin's current strength, the entire Douluo Continent can move sideways, brother. Qian Meng, don't be too relaxed. The title ban is a breakthrough, but there are more things. I will also complete the divine test and go to the killing city. And I promised Bo Saixi that I will take Tang. I'll see her in the morning. Are we going to leave immediately? Qian Meng Bingxi asked. Qianlin shook his head. Don't worry. Although I'm somewhat confident in my current strength, I'm not arrogant yet. Even if the King of Slaughter is not the same Tang Chen back then, he still retains all of Tang Chen's soul rings and soul power. The combat power has definitely reached the ultimate Douluo level. Once I start a battle with him now, within a short period of time, I'm afraid that, even if I level the city of killing, it will be difficult to determine the outcome, and I'm too lazy to spend that effort. Zhaoxia, what do you think? Qianlin thought for a while and said, I plan to find an opportunity to go to the Star Forest and take back as many of my spirit beads and divine sword as possible. As long as I find a few other spirit beads, or get back the demon suppressing sword, I will definitely be able to defeat Tang Chen. This is a good idea, but little god, I have to remind you that Dishan's strength is still higher than that of ordinary extreme Douluo. Even you now, your chances of winning against him are not too high. Qian Meng Iceworm reminded. I understand this, so I said I would look for an opportunity. Yesterday I offended the Xiandao Empire in a very high profile way and showed off my strength. It was not just to break up with them. In fact, my father-in-law and I also wanted to show off to Wuhan. To convey a message. What my father-in-law wants to convey is to let them know that the Qibao Glazed sect has fallen out with the Xiandao Empire and the Haotian sect, and now is the best time for them to establish a nation. What I want to pass on to Bibi Dong is to let her notice the speed of my strength improvement and give her a sense of urgency. When it came to Zhao Wu, I deliberately let Zhu Douluo and others go, just to let them pass on. It is impossible for Bibi Dong not to be tempted by the information about the Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape. Her second martial soul is in urgent need of a soul ring, so I want to lure Bibi Dong to the Stardao Forest in advance. This is also very simple. Just let her know that I'm going there. I have broken through the 9th ring, and I'm also a twin martial spirit, and I happen to know the difference between the two forests. Where the king is, if she learns of my whereabouts, she will definitely think subconsciously that I want to use them as soul rings for the Holy Spirit Pearl. Then she will not be able to sit still. After all, those two soul rings are used by her as bags. How can I let the things in my hands get my hands on them during the Battle of Zhao Wu's sacrifice? Because the two divine beasts were immobilized by Zhu Ghost Douluo as soon as they came up, the battle was not fierce. In addition, God Xian didn't care about Zhao Wu in human form, so it didn't come. But I think it doesn't care about the two forest kings at all. Qian Meng Bingkan understood. You want Bibi Dong and Di Xian to confront each other, and then the fisherman will benefit. That's right. I don't want to face Di Xian just yet. My real targets are Red King, ZG and BG. If my guess is correct, the 3 spiritual beads of fire, water and wind should be in their hands. I will take back the 3 spirit beads, while Di Xian and Bibi Dong are fighting. These 3 spirit beasts are definitely no match for me now. Tianlin had already thought of a strategy, but my only worry now, yes, it's the Thunderlings who Thunder Spirit Bead. I remember that among the ferocious beasts in the Stardao Forest, there are no thunder attribute soul beasts. So where do you think this bead will be? Qian Mengbingsi thought for a while, but couldn't think of the correct answer for a while. No, there is a soul beast with thunder attributes, or in other words, she has all attributes, but the power of the spirit beads is too great. Even she can only use one to practice, or heal her wounds. Therefore, she will definitely choose to attack others. The ferocious beast has no help from the thunder spirit pearl. Tianlin looked solemnly. She is the co-master of the soul beasts, the silver dragon king. After Tianlin said this, Qian Mengbing can finally remember Dishan's master. Oops, I forgot about this guy. Her strength is god level. Even if she is seriously injured, it will definitely not be easy. Deal with it. Let's not think about so many things for now. Let's get back the remaining 3 spirit beads. As for the thunder spirit beads and the demon suppressing sword, I will think of other ways. Tianlin said seriously. The spirit beads and divine sword that belong to him will cost him his whole life. The power must be taken back. Wuhan Palace. When Bibi Dong received the news last night, she was both happy and worried. What she was happy about was that the Qibao Glazed sect and the Xiandao Empire actually had a falling out. Without the constraints of the Qibao Glazed sect, if their Wuhan Palace goes to war with the Xiandao Empire, they can implement beheading tactics with the power of high-level soul masters. Those titled Douluo of Haoshan sect are less than 95 levels, plus the soul Douluo of the empire itself. Cannot stop Wuhan Palace's assassination at all. If Bibi Dong is willing, she can kill all the people of Xiandao Empire by herself. All high-rise. In the original work, there was Tangsun who had the Poseidon trident to resist her, but now that Tangsun didn't even have his ashes, Bibi Dong could run amok in the Xiandao Empire. Worryingly, although the Qibao Glazed sect no longer cooperated with the Xiandao Empire, it was still hostile to their spirit hall, and the young man who feared her the most had actually crossed the 90-level bottleneck and became the most powerful person in the world. One of the titled Douluo, the titled Holy Demon. You must know that when Tianlin was in the Soul Saint stage, he could surpass ordinary titled Douluo, and he could summon 2 gods to fight super. Now that he has reached the title, he is probably even stronger than her, and with Jun Tianlin's astonishing rate of progress, it may not take long to completely surpass her. By then, even if she defeats the 2 empires, she will still be unable to face the fully grown Tianlin. Ever since the hatred in her heart weakened because of Hulina and Qian Ringsu, she found that even the speed of passing on the Rakshasa divine position had slowed down. He cannot become a god in a short period of time, and Qian Ringsu will definitely not be able to inherit the divine status as fast as Tianlin. Now Bibi Dong's only way is to first let his strength surpass the ultimate Douluo, and then take advantage of Tianlin's unfinished status. Kill him before inheritance. Her confidence lies in the fact that her twin martial souls can produce 9 more soul rings than others, but Tianlin also has twin martial souls, and he also knows the locations of the 2 forest kings. If Tianlin hunts them down before her, these 2 soul rings. Thinking of this, Bibi Dong became anxious. No, I have to take action quickly. The 100,000-year-old silky bone rabbit has been cut off, and the 2 kings of the forest cannot make any mistakes. Chapter 444 Tianlin's conspiracy. Bibi Dong's response. Report. A few days later, a voice that annoyed Bibi Dong ran into the papal palace anxiously. Lord Dealer, tell me, what did Jun Tianlin do again? Bibi Dong said helplessly. During this period of time, the Qibao Glazed sect changed from usual, since Tianlin broke through and became completely high profile, especially Jun Tianlin, who raided 7 or 8 Wuhan main halls and Wuhan branch halls in a few days. Fortunately, he didn't kill too much, and only killed 1 or 2 of them each time. However, such actions made the entire Wuhan hall panic. Now that Tianlin has the Eye of Judgment, he certainly won't kill people at will. Almost all of the people he kills are extremely evil people with a black reputation, and his main purpose is not to kill, but to make trouble for Bibi Dong to know his whereabouts. This time it was Yelin City, but he didn't kill anyone, he just went to play a prank. I heard that he tied up the master of Yelin City's martial spirit master hall, blocked all the soul power, and threw him into the bandits' den. He remained a slave until a few days later, when the people from the Wuhan palace rescued the palace master and destroyed the bandits' nest. Lord Yella said with an ugly face. He couldn't understand what Tianlin was thinking at all. Point as an enemy. You can kill if you want, and do whatever others want to do. What? A Jun Tianlin, a scholar who can be killed but not humiliated. This is humiliating our spirit hall. Several titled Douluo elders were furious. Elders, please calm down. Tianlin is not humiliating us, but is punishing us to a certain extent, based on personal mistakes. Kyan Rinxu said, I sent people to investigate the people Tianlin killed. They are all the dregs of our Wuhan palace. They usually bully men and dominate women, but in Yelin City, His Majesty the Pope has always had stricter control there, so the people there are not very evil. The master of the Yelin City Lord Palace, usually he was just a bit arrogant, so Tianlin only gave him light punishment, and asked him to destroy a den of bandits who committed evil crimes as a reward for his crime. Xiaoxu is right, I think so too. Bibi Dong nodded. Her relationship with Kyan Rinxu cannot be exposed, so she still calls her a little distant in front of outsiders. Kyan Rinxu knew that Tianlin inherited God Shura, the god in charge of law and judgment. It seemed that Tianlin had already entered the internship period before becoming a full-time official. Yelin City is the place where Bibi Dong and the master established their love. Of course, Bibi Dong protected it well. Therefore, Tianlin did not see a black name there, not even a purple name. The worst thing was a yellow name. How could Tianlin kill people at will? It is precisely because of this that Bibi Dong has always been angry, but not resentful towards Tianlin. She simply thinks he is annoying. Is it because I have no goals after breaking through the title Douluo? Now I'm just full and doing such meaningless things all day long. Teacher, I think Tianlin is by no means such a boring person. Do you think he is deliberately diverting our attention, and his real purpose is for something else? Hulina said in a timely manner. It was Tianlin who had a secret communication with her not long ago. Hearing this, Bibi Dong suddenly thought of something. Oh no, give me a map of Tianlin's route during this period. Yes. After hearing this, Lord Yella immediately marked Tianlin's route of action during this period on the big map of Douluo Continent. Only then did I realize that, although Tianlin's route of action was circuitous, he kept moving forward, and the final destination seemed to be Star Forest. Lord Yella exclaimed and reported, His Majesty the Pope, the saint's guess was correct. Tianlin was diverting his attention. His real destination was to go to Star Forest. His goal must be the two forest kings. Bibi Dong frowned. Moreover, he is not diverting attention, but attracting attention. Kyan Rinxu also agreed with her mother's words. His Majesty the Pope is right. If Tianlin's purpose is to hunt down the two forest kings, then he should go there in a low-key manner and make his whereabouts known to everyone. ZHI, as if to tell us deliberately that he is going to the Stardow Forest. Is this a declaration of war? Tianlin is trying to attract me. Bibi Dong speculated. Teacher, could it be that Tianlin set up some conspiracy to deal with you? Hulina looked very worried about two people at the same time. Because both Tianlin and Bibi Dong can now pose a threat to the other party. I have to go if I have a plan. This is Tianlin's conspiracy. If I don't go, the soul rings of the two forest kings will become his possession. With his current strength, if he absorbs this 200,000-year soul rings will become even more difficult to deal with. Moreover, I have long wanted to fight him. Since they have given me a challenge, how can I avoid fighting? Bibi Dong was very confident in herself. He is not afraid of a young boy named Tianlin. She has coveted the soul rings of the two forest kings for a long time. She is bound to get them, and there is absolutely no reason to give them to Tianlin. In that case, His Majesty the Pope, let me go with you. I also want to see Tianlin's current strength. Kyan Rinxu requested. Looking at her daughter, Bibi Dong nodded. That's good. You are now a titled Douluo, and your strength is no worse than any of the elders. There is no harm in going together. In addition, Elder Lingyan, Elder Turtle, Elder Shenglong, and Elder Ju, the four of you, please come with me. Nana, during this period, you will be handling all matters of the Spirit Hall, big and small. I have invited all the forces that are attached to my Spirit Hall to come. You and Elder Snake Spear and Elder Ghost Leopard will be responsible for receiving them. More than a month later is the founding ceremony of the country. I will rush back before then. It's teacher, as you command, Your Majesty the Pope, who Lena and the remaining 2 elders happily accepted the order. Bibidong's Linoop this time is huge. In addition to her, there are 5 titled Douluo. This power is enough to destroy the country. Although she is confident, she will never underestimate the enemy. This time she will not only get to the spirit ring of the great divine beast, will keep Tianlin in the Star Forest forever. At this time, Tianlin had also arrived at the entrance of the Star Forest. He did not bring any of his titled Douluo to help. After all, he wanted to act in secret, and the fewer people there, the better. Bibi Dong should come. I'm so provocative, Tianlin said to himself. After all, Bibi Dong didn't know his true purpose. Looking at his situation, ordinary people would definitely surmise that he was after the soul rings and soul bones of the 2 forest kings. As Bibi Dong said, this is a conspiracy. The 2 forest kings are definitely no match for Tianlin now. If Bibi Dong doesn't come, he can only watch them become Tianlin's soul rings. Therefore, even if Tianlin is planning to play tricks here, she had to do it. No matter what point Tianlin entered the forest and first found a place to stay, it was still the same place, the cave of the dark gold deer or claw bear. This place had become like his secret base. He could come whenever he wanted, safe and comfortable. Chapter 445 The Boiling Lake of Life. The Wrath of Emperor Xian. On the mountain road, 6 figures were moving forward at a rapid pace. Each speed was astonishingly fast, enough to put contra of the agility attack system to shame. They were Wuhan Palace. Bibi Dong and his party, worried about Tianlin's success, Bibi Dong chose to go at full speed. The 6 titled Douluo arrived at the Stardao Forest from the Spirit Hall in less than a day. You, Guan, you will lead the way and help us find the 2 forest kings, Bibi Dong ordered. Yes, His Majesty the Pope. Although Yu Guan has secretly betrayed Bibi Dong, he will not use tricks in this matter. Firstly, if Bibi Dong finds out, he will die miserably. Secondly, the old ghost died at the hands of Jun Tianlin and the 2 forest kings. Now that Bibi Dong had to deal with them, he couldn't help, but he would definitely help. Under the leadership of Yu Guan, the 6 people entered the Star Forest. Yu Guan had been to the Lake of Life once before, and it was a familiar journey. To go there again. The group of people walked very smoothly. Even if they entered the depths of the forest, no blind soul beast disturbed them. Among the 6 titled Douluo, no one would dare to offend such a team, unless they had the heart of a bear and the courage of a leopard. At this time, in the Lake of Life, the Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape were not aware of the approaching danger at all. In order to help Xiao Wu practice again, they tried their best. Except for the treasures in the center of the Lake of Life, almost all the treasures in the Star Forest have been picked by them. Erming sat by the lake and looked down at Xiao Wu, who was eating a spiritual grass tenderly. Brother, look, Xiao Wu is growing very fast. In such a short time, she has almost recovered to 100 with years of cultivation. At this rate, she will definitely be able to regain her intelligence in less than 200 years. A huge bull's head floated up from the water. This is all the result of the spiritual grass you picked. Erming's hard work has paid off. It's a pity that there is currently no fairy medicinal herb in this Stardao forest. Otherwise, if there is a 10,000 years ginseng, king, or crystal blood dragon ginseng, that is more than 5,000 years old, Sister Xiao can regain her sanity immediately. It doesn't matter, brother, I can afford to wait for just a few hundred years. From now on, I will never let Sister Xiao get hurt in the slightest again. Erming vowed. Haha, really? At this moment, a charming voice sounded, and countless chrysanthemum petals flew down from the sky. The 5th soul skill, Gathering of Cold Yin. The petals turned into sharp blades, and flew toward the 2 soul beasts. Sister Xiao Wu, be careful. The Titan Giant Ape was afraid that Xiao Wu would be affected, so he used his body to protect Xiao Wu. Its body was extremely tough, and even the attacks of titled Douluo were unable to break through its defenses, only leaving red cutting marks on its surface. This soul skill is that of the titled Douluo who escaped back then. Damning roared angrily, "Asshole, I spared your life back then, but you dare to come again today. Since you want to die, I will help you." Shine King Ji destroy the thunder. The Azure Ball Python activated the power of thunder and struck in the direction of the source of the petals in the forest. A huge turtle and a white armored earth dragon appeared at the same time, blocking the thunder, but they were also beaten to the point of trembling. Even two martial spirits with amazing defense power could not easily catch the Azure Ball Python. A blow. Haha, what a strong body, what a powerful thunder and lightning. You are worthy of being the king of the forest, the Titan giant ape, and the forest emperor, the Azure Ball Python. I'm so satisfied. Bibidong led a few people out of the forest, looking at them with extremely greedy eyes. There are 2 soul beasts except for Bibidong and Kyan Rinksu. The other 4 people have activated their martial souls, all colored 2 yellow, 2 purple and 5 black. Looking at these 6 people, the Azure Ball Python's pupils shrank. They turned out to be 6 titled Douluo. Although the other 2 did not reveal their martial spirits, it could be felt that they were stronger than these 4. Where are the Azure Ball Python, Titan giant ape, and Tianlin? Zhu Douluo looked at the 2 soul beasts and asked viciously, Tianlin, is he the boy from last time? Azure Ball Python will always remember the guy who plotted against everyone. He has never been here. Humans, if you are here to find him, you can leave. If it could, it didn't want to start a fight with 6 titled Douluo. No matter how strong it and Erming were, they would still be unable to defeat 4 of them with 2 fists, and defeat was doomed in a fight. Hasn't Tianlin been here? Bibidong pondered for a moment, and then said to Kyan Rinksu, Zua, don't join the battle later. Pay attention to your surroundings. I'm afraid that guy will attack at any time. Bibidong won't just retreat. Now that he's here, he will hunt for these 2 soul rings no matter what. Yuguan, let's do it. Yes, your majesty the Pope. Yuguan understood, and the 3rd soul ring lit up. The 3rd soul skill, breath barrier. The petals of the strange velvet Babel chrysanthemum form a huge circle, surrounding the Azure Ball Python and the Titan giant ape. This is the control skill of chrysanthemum Douluo. These petals will blow out pollen, which can immobilize opponents who inhale the pollen, even if they are faced with it. Against strong enemies, it can also reduce the opponent's speed to a certain extent. It can be said that it is a weakened version of the bipolar static realm. I said, Tianlin is not here. Humans, please don't push yourself too far. The Azure Ball Python said angrily. Haha, who cares about Tianlin? Our real target is you. The 8th soul skill, blood boiling. Lingir and Douluo flew into the air and fired countless fireballs into the lake of life, making the entire lake begin to boil. Got up. Even with the powerful body of the Azure Ball Python, being in the boiling lake water is not that comfortable. The temperature of the title Douluo's fire is not generally high. In the darkness, Tianlin, who saw this scene, smiled and said, it's really a suicide attempt. Originally, I was worried that you guys didn't fight fiercely enough to attract Dishan. He lured it out, but you actually attacked the lake of life, which saved me a lot of effort. Tianlin was very satisfied with Lingyu and Douluo's operation, but he was still worried about why Kyan Rinksu had followed him. If Dishan went crazy and wanted to kill someone, Bibidong might not be able to stop it. Kyan Rinksu is definitely no match for Dishan. In the end, Tianlin decided to take it one step at a time, and if it didn't work, he would just help. In short, he would never stop the plan. The 5 spiritual pearls were too important to Tianlin. In the center of the lake of life, the demon dragon Zg suddenly emerged from the water and looked at Dishan and said, Dishan, the temperature of the water surface suddenly rose, and someone is attacking the lake of life. Dishan opened his golden eyes and stared into the distance. His eyesight was amazing, and he could still see the battle scene over there, even though he was far away. 6. Titled Douluo came to hunt the Azure Ball Python and Titan Giant Ape brothers. It's really good. Human beings, you bully the beasts too much. D. Shan's voice was extremely cold. He had already been filled with anger over Tang Heo's incident, and now there were 6 more. Did he really think that there was no king in the Stardao forest? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 446, Surrounding and Killing Two Forest Kings. Just when Deshian noticed this place, the battle here became more and more intense. The ninth soul skill. The chrysanthemums are broken, the ground is covered with wounds, the flowers fall, and the heart is broken. The ninth soul skill. Burning worldly iron. The ninth soul skill. Earth dragon absolute sky formation. The ninth soul skill is to flood the entire wasteland. The four major titled Douluo unleashed their strongest ninth soul skills one after another in order to win quickly. Unfortunately, they underestimated the two forest kings, titans. Sky breaks, soul of the blue dragon. The titan giant ape and azure bull python also unceremoniously used their ultimate moves. Although they were 2 against 4, they were not at all inferior. The strength of both sides was in a stalemate, and it was difficult to tell the winner for a while. Bibidang was a little impatient. Trash. 4 against 2 can't take down just 2 beasts, and I have to take action myself. 8. Hairy spider legs stretched out from Bibidang's back. These were not the 8 spider spears with attached soul bones, but one of Bibidang's 2 martial spirits, the Death Spider Emperor. The 6th soul skill, blood-sucking spider sting. Countless spider spines flew out from the spider's feet. With Bibidang's cultivation level, the power of his 6th soul skill was even more powerful than Douluo's 9th soul skill. The spider spines were densely packed, blocking out the sky, and dripping with a disgusting green viscous liquid. The liquid dripped onto the ground, and the ground was instantly corroded. It was obvious that it contained a very terrifying poison. Go, Bibi. Dang waved her right hand, and all the spider thorns flew towards the 2 soul beasts that were fighting with the titled Douluo. Even though their bodies were strong, they were still scarred by the thorns due to the huge target. The titan ape was pierced through the chest by countless spiders originally. This injury was nothing, but as the poison entered their bodies, the 2 soul beasts felt that their strength was weakening very quickly. If their soul power had not been strong, they would have corroded into a pool of blood like the ground just now. Qibao was known as the best poison soul master in the world at that time, but in fact, his poison before getting kissed by the snow-colored swan was not comparable to Bibidang's as the strength weakened. The situation that was originally able to compete with the 4 titled Douluo was reversed. In an instant, Titan Skybreak and King Lang Soul were pushed back. Chrysanthemum Douluo's petals and Spirit Kite Douluo's fire hit the Azure Bull Python, while Holy Dragon Douluo's Earth Dragon and Turtle Douluo's water hit the Titan Giant Ape. The 2 soul beasts were immediately seriously injured, and their auras alternated between strong and weak, extremely unstable. This woman is so strong. Even if my second brother and I join forces, we may not be her match. The Azure Bull Python could see that Bibidang was the main reason why they were defeated just now. If she hadn't injured and disabled herself, and arming with one move, the 2 of them would have been able to at least compete against the 4 titled Douluo. Get them now. Bibidang gave the order, and the 4 titled Douluo rushed over like thunder. Gravity, field, realm of slowness. Even if the 2 mythical beasts are crippled, they will not become soft persimmons for anyone to manipulate. The dual realms are opened, the gravity realm and the slowness realm. In fact, the effects are similar. One is to exert gravity on the opponent and restrict the opponent's actions, and the other is to directly weakening the opponent's speed is actually a restricted area. Relying on these 2 fields, the movements of the 4 titled Douluo were completely restricted. Taking this opportunity, the Azure Bull Python shouted, "Erming, take Sister Xiao and run." The Titan Giant Ape picked up Xiao Wu and ran wildly into the forest. Daming also followed closely. They were not eager to fight. After all, these 2 realms could only delay for a while, and it was impossible to defeat them. Trash. Bibidang raised her hand, and a burst of black light emitted from her palm, easily dispersing the power of the 2 realms at the same time. Looking at the 4 liberated people, she coldly ordered, "Hurry up and chase." Yes, His Majesty the Pope. The 4 of them responded and chased the 2 soul beasts at full speed. The Azure Bull Python and the Titan Ape ran frantically for their lives, their bodies already stained red with their own blood. The body of the Azure Bull Python is more than 30 meters long, and is covered with wounds. The wounds are still dripping with smelly black blood. Its huge eyes have lost their former glory, and their eyes are getting darker and darker. There were several puffs of smoke wherever the smoke touched. The plant withered quickly, which showed how terrible the poison acting on it was. The Titan ape's condition is slightly better than that of the Azure bull python, but it also has many wounds on its body, especially a huge wound on its chest, with bones visible deep inside. Faintly, you can even see the heart beating powerfully in the chest. If this wound had extended further in, I'm afraid its heart would have been broken. The Titan ape is still holding Wu in its hand, which is an existence that is more important than its life. The humans who were chasing them were so powerful, especially the woman, who could actually break through the physical defenses of herself and damning with just one face-to-face encounter, although they escaped temporarily. I don't know how long they can last in this state of fighting and retreating. If they are lucky, they may be able to last for half a month. After half a month, let alone fighting, they will be extremely poisonous. It will make them die ugly. They have to find a place to detoxify, but the people chasing after them won't give them this chance. Both damning and erming possess wisdom no less than human beings. Of course they knew why these humans were hunting them. They are unwilling to let these humans take away their soul rings and soul bones. Even if they die, they will not let them succeed. Therefore, even though the two divine beasts are getting weaker and weaker, they are still running desperately without any intention of giving up. Second, brother, if this continues, we will all die, so please leave me alone. Run away with Sister Wu, and I will hold back these despicable humans. They want to get my soul ring and soul bones. It is just a dream. I will destroy myself. It won't be easy for them. The resentment in Damning's eyes has reached the extreme. For Wu's sake, he will stick to it no matter what. No, brother. As long as I still have breath, I will never give up on you. Worming roared and stamped his feet on the ground. A circle of intense yellow light spread behind them, delaying the enemy who was about to approach them again. The strong gravity even turned all plants within the range of the light into powder in the original work. This move delayed Bibidong and others for a long time, and also helped the two spirit beasts hold on until Tangsun arrived. But this time, the Wuhan Palace side had one more crucial person than in the original work. It's Itterfield again. Let you have a taste of the power of the god-level martial soul's talent field. Qian Ringsu opened her 6 wings and spread the angel field. This field has the ability to dissolve other forces. The gravity domain was no match for the angel domain. In addition, the Titan giant ape had been severely injured. In just one breath, the gravity domain was completely dissolved. The Titan ape suddenly showed a look of extreme despair. Unexpectedly, among this group of people, besides the extremely terrifying spider woman, there was also a strong man with a god-level martial spirit. Her level seems to be only around level 92, but the powerful power of a god-level spirit makes her almost as powerful as a super Douluo. That's it for now, you guys. Let's die. Bibidong smiled coldly, preparing to hunt them down and collect their soul rings. Just when her pride and the desperate auras of the two soul beasts reached their peak, suddenly, that voice came over. All the ferocious beasts in the Stardow Forest obey the orders and kill all the humans who invade the Lake of Life. Chapter 447 The Gathering of Ferocious Beasts. The ferocious beasts of the Stardow Forest obeyed orders and killed all humans who invaded the Lake of Life. With great anger, the words "kill them all" echoed over and over again in the sky of the Stardow Forest. The expressions of the two parties who were chasing and being chased suddenly changed. Bibidong Fang's mood turned from pride to horror, because the power contained in this voice was so great that it had never been seen before. Even so, many of their title Douluo were almost shattered by the shock. Qian Ringsu even felt that her grandfather may not have such power. No, definitely not. But the Azure Bull Python and Titan Giant Ape, who were already desperate, were so excited that they couldn't help themselves. Lord Dishan, it's Lord Dishan. The Azure Bull Python roared. Dishan is the king it admires the most. Its most powerful trick is named Azure Dragon Soul. The meaning contained in it is Azure Bull Python. The python hopes that one day he can transform into a dragon. The Azure Bull Python is currently unaware of the existence of the Silver Dragon King. In its understanding, Dishan is the strongest dragon in the continent today. Dishan, who is this? Bibidong had never heard of this name, and it was not even recorded in the Wuhan Palace's information. That's natural. When Dishan lived in seclusion deep in the Star Forest, the Spirit Hall had not yet been established. It only woke up in the past 20 years. except for the last time it hunted down Tang Heo. It had never been in human history. The world appears. His Majesty the Pope. No, I feel that there are several huge forces gathering here, each of which is far superior to the Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape. Kyan Rinxu said in a panic. Unexpectedly, within the Stardow forest, actually hides such an astonishing power of soul beasts. Haha, it's dead. You're dead. The Titan Giant Ape laughed boldly. Lord Dishan is coming, and no one in this world is the opponent of Lord Dishan. HMPH. I don't care who that Emperor Shan is. I'm going to take your lives now. The sixth soul skill. Golden RUI Flowing Clouds. Douluo will not give up until he kills these two soul beasts today. After all, they also have a share in killing old ghosts. The strange velvet giant chrysanthemum bloomed, and the golden light turned into a strong shockwave and swept towards the two seriously injured soul beasts. You want to know who I am? Then I will answer you. At this moment, a man in black robe appeared in front of the two soul beasts at a speed that no one could see and looked at Ju with extremely cold eyes. Douluo said, point facing the extremely powerful Jinru flowing clouds. The man just stretched out his right hand and flicked his fingers. The light wave was immediately bounced back. Douluo had no time to react before he was swallowed up by his own light. Ah! With a mournful cry, Douluo fell to the ground like a withered flower. How is it possible that with just one finger, he bounced back my full blow? Is this a full blow? The man smiled disdainfully. Then you are really too weak, but you have to be grateful that you are so weak. Otherwise you would have been killed by your own trick just now. Several other titled Douluo couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva, obviously frightened. Although Douluo's soul power level is only 91 due to old injuries, but if they want to defeat him, they must use all their strength to defeat him. It takes a lot of effort to take action point, but the person in front of him could kill him in an instant, and with just one finger. In other words, if there are a few of them, the results will probably be similar. Ah. You Dishan? Bibidang walked forward and met Dishan's eyes. At this time, she was the only one who dared to confront Dishan point. Although Bibidang still has the limitations of the Rakshasa god, after so many years of training, the level of ultimate Douluo can still be barely displayed. With the addition of twin martial arts, Bibidang's combat power is no weaker than that of ultimate Douluo. How many? I am the golden-eyed black dragon king Dishan. Humans, you have passed. A few years ago, a titled Douluo slaughtered soul beasts for soul bones. Now, you have besieged my two forest kings. Today I will make you pay the price. Dishan's voice was extremely cold and contained a strong murderous intent. Bibidang had no choice but to activate the killing god realm to fight against Dishan's nearly substantial murderous intent. Your Majesty, something is coming again. Kyan Rinxu reminded. After hearing this, everyone looked around and realized that they had been completely surrounded. Next to Dishan, a beautiful swan appeared, covered with green emeralds. Ranked 4th among the top 10 ferocious beasts, the emerald swan Bridget had a cultivation level of 570,000 years. Then vines appeared on the ground, and a giant tree 100 meters high covered the sky. Ranked 5th among the top 10 ferocious beasts, with a cultivation base of 520,000 years, the strongest plant-based soul beast, the king of 10,000 demons, is a demon in its true form. Behold a tree with a dragon roar. Another giant dragon flew out, the 9th of the 10 ferocious beasts, the hell demon dragon ZG, who had cultivated for 300,000 years. Finally, there is a strange black shadow, formless and extremely mysterious, the 10th of the 10 most ferocious beasts, the demon spirit. Most of the ferocious beasts in the Stardow forest are gathered here. Each of these soul beasts is stronger than the king of the forest. How is it possible? Lingir and Douluo was stunned with fright. Just now, they besieged the Azure Bull Python and the Titan Giant Ape, but now, the one being besieged, became Gotham. Even the weakest of them could defeat 2 or 3 of them, and she saw no chance of victory. Damn it, we must have been fooled by Tianlin. He deliberately brought us here, just to use the power of these soul beasts, to wipe out all the high-end combat power of our Wuhan palace. He must have known about these terrifying soul beasts for a long time. Otherwise, why didn't you show up all the time? Turtle Douluo put away the fake smile that always remained on his face and said angrily. Facing these monsters in front of him, he couldn't laugh at all. Huh? Where's the Red King? How dare it not come after my order? Dishan asked Biji and Ziji behind him. The Red King was blocked. In addition to these people, there is another one hiding not far away. He happened to meet the Red King. Your order is to kill all humans who offend the Lake of Life, so it is ready to kill that person. People will come over later. Bridget explained. Dishan nodded. That's good. It will save some fish from slipping through the net. BG, you should detoxify the Azure Ball Python and Titanate first, otherwise they won't be able to last long. Yes. Bridget flapped her beautiful wings and flew over the two soul beasts, scattering bursts of green light waves. This was her healing soul skill point as the most powerful healing soul beast. Bidge's healing ability is even stronger than that of Jiuxin Haitang of Jiuhun. She is truly the number one in the world, excluding the cheetah Tianlin. Of course, illuminated by the light, the wounds of the two soul beasts not only healed at a speed visible to the naked eye, but the blood flowing out gradually turned from pitch black back to red. At the same time, the black energy that permeated their bodies also quickly disappeared. What? A terrifying healing ability. Bibi Dong's alertness increased to a high level. Poison was one of her strongest combat methods. Now that there was someone on the opposite side who could restrain her, it had a huge impact on her combat effectiveness. Taking advantage of the other party's treatment, this should have been a good time to take action, but the Dishan in front of her was really too scary for her. She felt that, as long as there was any movement on her side, everyone here except her would be instantly tear into pieces. Thank you, Lady Bridget. The two recovered soul beasts expressed their gratitude to Bridget. They may not be able to fight in a short time, but at least their lives have been saved. Chapter 448 Wuhan Palace vs Ferocious Beast. Tianlin intercepts the Red King. Seeing that BG had already cured the two soul beasts, Dishan nodded, and then looked at everyone in Wuhan Hall. Next, it's time to settle the score. You dare to offend my Lake of Life again and again. Prepare to face the punishment. Then come and give it a try. Who is Bibi Dong? She is the number one female pope in the world. No matter how unfavorable the situation is, she is not afraid at all. Now the only person she is worried about is Kan Ringsu. If she had known this, she should not have let her come. She thought that with her own strength, there was no place in the world that she could not go to, but she did not expect that there are so many powerful people hidden here. By point, it doesn't matter if the other title Douluo die, but Kan Ringsu is her daughter and nothing will happen to her. Zua, later I will work with other title Douluo to hold back these soul beasts as much as possible. You can find a way to leave as soon as possible. Bibi Dong sent a message to Kan Ringsu into the secret passage. Kan Ringsu immediately understood that her mother wanted to sacrifice herself and all the title Douluo here just to save her, and immediately replied, "No, mother, I finally reconciled with you, and I will never leave you behind today. Don't worry, I won't die. I have an immortal body. As long as no god level powerful person appears, no one can kill me. On the contrary, if I want to distract myself from protecting you, I won't be able to fight with all my strength." Bibi Dong also, she is not someone who is willing to die. She still has great work to accomplish. The reason why she is so confident is a Death Spider Emperor's 9th soul skill, Immortality. With this move, even if several extreme Douluo surround her, they can't kill her. Kan Ringsu nodded, but she had forgotten that her mother was not only powerful in battle, but also had the best ability to save her life. If she stayed, she would only become a burden to her. Dishan had long noticed the secret transmission of sound between the mother and daughter. As a king, he did not bother to take advantage of the opportunity to make a sneak attack. He waited until they finished talking and then said coldly, "You have finished your last words, then kill." After hearing Dishan's order, the three ferocious beasts e.g. 10,000 Demon King and Demon Spirit immediately rushed towards the crowd. Follow the orders of Wuhan Palace. Choose opponents with incompatible attributes. Each face the enemy and fight with all your strength. Bibi Dong ordered loudly. Yes. People who can become title Douluo certainly don't have a bad character. Although they were frightened by these monsters just now, they have completely recovered now, and their obsession with survival will make them stronger. Chrysanthemum Douluo and Turtle Douluo fought against the Yin and Water attribute Hell Demon Dragons e.g. while Holy Dragon Douluo and the Fire attribute Spirit Kite Douluo attacked the strongest plant soul beast, the 10,000 Demon King. The last demon spirit is naturally left to Qian Rinxu, who has the strongest divine power to deal with it. With Qian Rinxu's current strength, she will at least not be at a disadvantage when dealing with the demon spirit, and she is also the most likely to kill him. Bibi Dang's body slowly rose into the air, standing opposite Dishan. One of them is the highest leader among human soul masters, the Pope of Wuhan Palace, and the other is the king of the soul beast world. They are both strong men on the ceiling. If they really fight, it will be difficult to determine the outcome for a while. Fortunately, Bridget is not good at fighting. Unfortunately, the Red King is not here. Otherwise, the Wuhan Palace side will definitely lose point at this point. Wuhan Palace would also like to thank Tianlin, because the reason why the Red King did not come was because he was intercepted by Tianlin. A few minutes ago, the Red King, who received Dishan's order, rushed towards the battlefield between Wuhan Palace and Azure Bull Python. However, he was blocked by Henkang's sword halfway, and the powerful sword energy forced him to give way. Abominable human beings, you have repeatedly offended my lake of life. Today, you people will never come back. The Red King looked at Tianlin with murderous intent. It was obvious that he and Wu Hundian were the same. The group of people became one group. Tianlin pushed the boat smoothly and said, I will not let you offend His Majesty the Pope. By His Majesty's order, I will intercept you here. As long as you hand over the Fire Spirit Orb, you will be spared. Fire Spirit Bead. The Red King was shocked. Could it be that fire attribute bead? It turns out that your real purpose is this. Let me tell you, don't even think about it. This is a treasure that belongs to our soul beasts, and is not something you humans can get your hands on. The Fire Spirit Bead is my treasure. You don't even know the name, but you want to take it for yourself. It's really ridiculous. Tianlin's sword energy rose up all over his body. Red King, I say it again, return the Fire Spirit Bead to me. I'm not interested in your soul ring and soul bones, and I don't want to kill soul beasts at will, so you'd better not force me. I'll say it again, it's impossible. The Red King spit out a mouthful of fire. This was the fire of hell, and its power was close to the ultimate fire, the first soul skill, Ning Hangsu. Tianlin used the ice shield transformed from the ultimate ice to easily block the attack of Hellfire. But the ice didn't last long before cracks appeared. With a bang, it suddenly shattered, and a huge flame claw appeared from behind the ice. Tianlin swung his giant claw away with a sword, and 3 more huge dog heads bit at him. The Red King has transformed into its true form, the 3-headed red demon mastiff. Tianlin also knew that, if he didn't cripple it today, he would never be able to get back the Fire Spirit Pearl. In this case, I won't be polite anymore. Dark Gold, Giant Spirit Palm. Tianlin hit the middle head of the Red King with a palm. Everyone could see that its other 2 heads were just decorations, and were only used for fighting, without thoughts. The middle one is its true body. Tianlin's speed was far faster than that of the Red King. He took the drunken immortal's moon-gazing steps and continuously dodged attacks from the 2 heads on the left and right of the Red King. Then he hit the Red King's face with a palm. Looking at Tianlin's small hand, which was no bigger than one of its teeth, the Red King smiled disdainfully. The head in the middle was indeed its vital point, but it was also the most powerful among its 3 heads. Immediately, it opened its huge mouth and bit at Tianlin. It wanted to bite off Tianlin's entire upper body with its arm. It's a pity that it really underestimated Tianlin. The Dark Gold Giant Spirit Palm is a soul bone fusion skill, and it is Xiang Jun's 460,000-year-old soul bone, plus Ice Bear King Xiaobei's 300,000-year-old extra soul bone fusion. It is several times more powerful than the 9th soul skills of many titled Douluo. When the Red King's face collided with Tianlin's palm, the image of Tianlin's arm breaking in its imagination did not happen. Instead, its head was completely twisted and deformed. Wow. The Red King wailed, and his whole body flew out. He was knocked several kilometers away in one breath, and 3 giant teeth fell on the ground. Tianlin's palm knocked off 3 of its proud fangs in one go. Red King, you are by no means my opponent. Now I have the power of an extreme Douluo. If you don't believe it, I will let you learn it again. Tianlin said coldly, the 7th soul skill, the true form of the magic sword. The 7th soul ring of the magic sword flickered, and Tianlin activated the weapon soul's true form. Suddenly, the Red King seemed to feel some familiar aura. Chapter 449, Taking Back the Fire Spirit Orb. This aura is Mr. Xiang. The Red King usually doesn't deal with Mr. Xiang very well, and they often quarrel. Therefore, it is also very familiar with Mr. Xiang's aura point, but now, Lord Xiang's aura actually appeared on the 7th soul ring of the sword, coupled with the palm technique named Dark Gold just now. It turns out that you were the one who really hunted down Mr. Xiang, not the titled Douluo who came to the Stardao forest to kill. The Red King's wisdom was no worse than that of humans, and he immediately woke up. Tianlin smiled and said, yes, it's me. If you don't want to follow Mr. Xiang's footsteps today, hand over the fire spirit pearl. If you want to kill me, come and try, if you have the ability. The Red King's temper was even hotter than that of Xiang Jun. He rushed over again without saying a word, completely unaware of the difference in strength between the two sides. Its cultivation level is roughly equivalent to that of a human level 96 titled Douluo. Because of its innate ultimate fire and its powerful body, its true combat effectiveness is around level 97, which is not as good as that of Lord Xiang Point. But whether it is physical fitness or attribute power, Tianlin is now a ceiling powerhouse. Even Dishan may not dare to say that he can definitely beat him in these two aspects, in addition to his soul power not being as strong as the ultimate Douluo and having insufficient battery life. His combat effectiveness in a short period of time is no worse than this. Tianlin shook his head. Stubborn. The 4th soul skill, the flowing light immortal killing slash. The demonic sword enlarged and turned into a 100-meter giant blade. With the blessing of the weapon soul's true form, its attack power has reached its peak point. With a slash of the sword, the mountains that were crossed by the giant sword were cut in half, the surface of the earth was deformed, and the sky was torn apart. Feeling the fatal crisis, the Red King stopped like a sudden break. Unfortunately, it was too late. The sword flashed, and the left side of the Red King's head had been chopped off with a sword. Tianlin raised his head and said, let me ask you again. Do you want to return the fire spirit pearl or not? Holding back the pain, the Red King still said stubbornly, I won't pay it back. Brush. Another sword light flashed, and the head on the right side of the Red King also fell down. Although I don't like to kill soul beasts indiscriminately, I must get back what belongs to me. If you don't return it, I will crush you to ashes and find it myself. Tianlin no longer showed mercy. He had already given it to the Red King. Lots of opportunities. Do you think you can kill me like this? The Red King, as a 3-headed red demon mastiff, has exactly the same characteristics as the original 3-headed Bat King. As long as its 3 heads are not chopped off at the same time, it cannot die. I saw the gap between the 2 severed heads, and suddenly a blazing fire emerged. The flames gradually turned into the image of heads. This was the self-healing ability of the Red King. Like the Fire Lord, he could be reborn from the fire. It's this kind of invincible characteristic again. But what can you do to me? The 8th soul skill, rotating light to swallow the sun and the moon. Tianlin swung 2 swords towards the space wall, creating 2 black holes around the Red King point. Although Vulcan said that this move cannot be used blindly, as it will thin the space wall if not used properly. But after Tianlin was promoted to title Douluo, he has been able to fully control this move. As long as he does not create an overly large black hole, there is no problem at all. Big deal. It's just like a healthy person just scratching the skin of his finger. It's not completely broken, it's just a small injury. I'm afraid it will heal after a delay in going to the hospital. 2 black holes appeared on the left and right sides of the Red King, and the huge suction force began to tear its body, making it unable to move. Its body was very strong and could not be torn in half so easily, but it had already been condensed and formed. The flames were all sucked in. Not only that, the black hole also continued to absorb the flames from the gap between the 2 severed heads. If this continued, the hellfire in the Red King's body would be completely sucked dry, and by then, it would die miserably. Stop. As the flames in the body continued to be extracted, the Red King's voice became weaker and weaker. At this moment, it was really scared. I will return the fire spirit pearl to you. Please stop. Before, it could rely on its invincible recovery ability to fight Tianlin, but now, even this ability is restrained by Tianlin, and it has no chance of winning at all point. Although the Red King is stubborn, he is definitely not stupid. Take it. Tianlin heard the words, waved his hand to close the black hole, and slowly floated in front of the Red King. If you had done this earlier, you wouldn't have to suffer like this. The Red King didn't dare to play any more tricks. Its flame power had been almost exhausted, and now it was afraid that it couldn't even defeat an ordinary 50,000-year-old soul beast, let alone fight against Tianlin. The Red King opened the mouth of the middle head, and a fiery red spirit bead slowly flew out from it. The spirit bead sensed Tianlin, and just like the original Earth spirit bead, he was as happy as if he had seen a relative, and actively surrounded him. Beside Tianlin. Seeing this scene, the Red King was willing to believe that this fire spirit bead indeed belonged to the person in front of him. It could only practice with the help of the fire spirit bead, but it understood that the ability contained in this spirit bead was far more than that. See, come on, only this man can unleash the true power of the fire spirit pearl. Tianlin happily accepted the fire spirit pearl. I finally got the second spirit pearl back. Looking at the weak Red King, Tianlin casually introduced a burst of ultimate fire to it. Red King, I promised a few friends that except for self-protection and promotion, I will never kill any soul beast at will, so I won't kill you today. The ultimate fire just now can slightly replenish the fire element lost in your body. Go back to the lake of life to cultivate. Your life is no longer in danger. Those two heads will grow back in less than a month from. The Red King was healed by the ultimate fire, and was able to slowly get up and say, if you show mercy, and don't kill me today, then I owe you a favor. The thoughts of beasts are really much simpler than those of humans. Although the Red King is extremely fierce, he can also be regarded as a heroic man. He will admit defeat calmly when he loses. Farewell. After saying that, Tianlin flew up. A fire spirit bead couldn't satisfy him at all. He had to at least take back the water spirit bead and wind spirit bead today. Seeing Tianlin leave, the Red King also turned back and walked towards the lake of life. It had no fighting power for the time being. Even if it went to the battlefield over there, it would not have any effect. At this time, a battle that was several times more intense than that between Tianlin and Red King was going on in the sky above the forest. Compared to Tianlin's unilateral suppression of the Red King, Bibidong and Dishan were evenly matched for the time being. Wherever the two top masters passed by, the surrounding flowers, plants, and trees were either completely corroded by the poison, or were destroyed by the powerful power crushed into powder. Bibidong's death domain and god of killing domain came out simultaneously. No opponent had pushed her to this extent in a long time. Haha, yes, there is a strong person like you among humans. He is much stronger than the one with the hammer, who came last time. Emperor Shan's soul power stirred up, shaking away the power of the domain that covered him, and praised him without hesitation. Qian Ringsu, who was fighting the demon spirit below, was very worried. Others couldn't tell, but they couldn't hide it from her. The battle seemed evenly matched, but Dishan was obviously much more calm than his mother. Her mother even used her dual martial souls and dual realms. She had tried her best, but she couldn't gain any upper hand. If this continued, she was worried that her mother would be defeated by Dishan today. Fortunately, Bibidong still had the immortality trick, so it shouldn't be life-threatening. She had to get herself out as soon as possible so that Bibidong could find her chance to escape. So, she had to go all out. The 9th soul skill, Angelic Glory. Chapter 450 Bibidong vs Dishan. In order to win quickly, Qian Ringsu directly used her strongest 9th soul skill. Different from the original work, although Qian Ringsu has not completely passed the divine test and received the 50,000-year award of the full soul ring, she still has the 8th and 9th 100,000-year soul rings. One of the skills of the 9th soul ring is the same as her father's, which is Angel Glory, a long-range attack skill. Qian Ringsu put her hands close to her chest, making a praying gesture, and then her whole body emitted golden light and fired a huge golden beam cannon, which was extremely powerful point. Although the demon spirit's cultivation level is far superior to Kan Rinxu's, its attribute restraint is too great, and its strength is only comparable to Kan Rinxu's. Especially when it faces such a sacred type ultimate move, it can't even dodge, because it has been blocked. Kan Rinxu's god level martial soul angel domain covers it. Under this domain, the demon spirit is always fixed at the center of the domain. Even with the help of teleportation, it will just stay in place. Strong light waves swept through the demon spirit's body, and the demon spirit's original dark figure seemed to be melted and dissipated little by little. Oh, a god level martial spirit with divine power. Originally, no matter who the demon spirit faced, with its ability to not grasp the main body and its extremely weird attacks, it could gain the upper hand. But when it met the angel martial spirit, it was completely different, was restrained. While fighting Bibidang, Dishan could also focus on other battlefields. You are connected by blood with this girl. She is your daughter. She is also very good, but it is a pity. Yeo, after all, Ling is my subordinate. I can't watch it die. Dishan's relaxed look made Bibidang angry. Who did he think he was fighting? The unprecedented female pope of the Wuhan Palace, the emperor of the Wuhan Empire who was about to establish a country, and the inheritor of the Rakshasa god, actually dared to be distracted. You will pay the price for your carelessness, soul bone skill, blood killing. Bibidang gritted her teeth fiercely, and a layer of intense red light suddenly burst out from her chest, spreading to the entire chest, and back in an instant. The red light looked extremely strange, as if Bibidang's own bones were emerging from her body. There was only one situation where this effect could occur, and that was the most important one among the 6 soul bones, the torso bone. It can be seen from the color that Bibidang's soul bone is 100,000 years old. As the red light bloomed, the carapace on Bibidang's chest suddenly cracked to both sides, containing a ball of intense red light. It felt like a huge eye had grown out of her chest. The soul bone skill of the 100,000 year torso bone. This is the ultimate move that is not inferior to Kan Rinxu's angel glory, but its properties are completely opposite. If Kan Rinxu's ultimate move is full of holiness, then this move is completely full of blood evil energy. It's a very good move, but Dishan looked much more serious than he had just received Douluo's attack with one finger, because he stretched out his entire left arm. The bloody light was easily caught by Dishan's palm, and Bibidang, but Douluo's blow that was 10 times more powerful could only push it to this extent. You are indeed very strong, but because the divine test you participated in does not seem to be very compatible with you, it limits your strength. To me, that's all. Dishan said. He was not serious just now, and he didn't even turn into the black dragon's body. A Bibidang who couldn't exert his full strength could not be its opponent at all. While Dishan caught Bibidang's attack with his left hand, he casually swung his right hand with his fingers as a sword. A powerful sword energy instantly cut off Kan Rinxu's angelic glory in the middle. Dishan's swordsmanship is also very impressive. He has 3 self-created secrets, one of which is the Black Dragon Sword. The move just now is just the beginning of the Black Dragon Sword. The current situation does not force him to use the secret situation. What? Kan Rinxu was shocked. Her most powerful soul skill was cut open so easily. On the other side, the 4 titled Douluo were also defeated by ZG and the 10,000 Demon King. Their soul power was less than level 95. Without the strength of Super Douluo, they could not compete with these ferocious beasts. It's not good if this continues. Sister Zhu and the others will be annihilated. Tianlin was a little worried in the dark. Of course, whether Bibidang died or not had nothing to do with him, and he didn't care. The reason why he wanted to help Kan Rinxu, and she resolved the grudge purely to prevent Bibidang from massacring Jengxin City and to delay her progress towards becoming a god. If Bibidang died here, it would do more good than harm to Tianlin. There are only 2 things Tianlin really cares about. One is Kan Rinxu's life, and the other is that if Wuhan Palace loses too quickly, he will have no chance to get the spirit beads from ZG and B. G. Zua, leave immediately. Bibidang retreated to Kan Rinxu's side and said. Although Kan Rinxu's blow was finally blocked by Dishan, It still severely damaged the demon spirit. The demon spirit could not stop Kan Rinxu at this time. Kan Rinxu nodded, opened her 6 angel wings, and prepared to escape. She knew that only if she left first could her mother find another chance to evacuate. HMPH, do you want to leave like this? Dreaming. Dishan said coldly. He had just given an order to kill all humans who offended the Lake of Life today. With his figure flashing, Dishan chased after Kan Rinxu. Don't even think about it. The 9th soul skill, immortality. Bibi Dong would never let Dishan catch up with her daughter. After she activated her immortality, she attacked Dishan without thinking about her own safety, without any defense at all. Immortality is Bibi Dong's most powerful life-saving auxiliary skill, derived from the 100,000-year-old soul beast Death Spider King. It comes with 2 effects. One is that, even if the body is beaten to pieces, it can be reassembled without death or injury. The other is to energize one's body and become immune to physical attacks. These 2 skills have a common feature, that is, as long as the opponent is not at the god level, he will never be able to truly kill Bibi Dong in this state. Bibi Dong seemed to be desperate for her life, and the 8 sharp spider spears of the Death Spider Emperor attacked Dishan crazily. Dishan easily dodged this unstructured attack, but his actions were blocked by Bibi Dong, making him unable to continue chasing Kan Rinxu. Haha. No wonder you dare to confront me. You actually have this tactic of exchanging lives for lives. Do you really think you can't be killed? Dishan said confidently. I'll show you an attack with god level power. Dragon God's Claw. Facing the crazy Bibi Dong, Dishan finally became serious and used the Dragon God's own unique skill, the Dragon God's Claw. Tang Chen once said that the Great Sumeru Hammer is a magical skill that can allow people to fight enemies at multiple levels, but it is completely incomparable to the Dragon Divine Claw. This is a real magical skill. Bibi Dong's spider spear was instantly shattered by the sharp dragon claws. Moreover, the dragon claws continued unabated and hit Bibi Dong's abdomen with 1 claw, piercing directly through her abdomen. Bibi Dong looked at Dishan's dragon claw in disbelief. Her immortal body was not completely immune to this move. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.